Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of Friday Night WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Bailey Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
It's going. I'm sad, man. Coca Cabana suing. Oh, they still suing him. Oh, that hurt my heart. I'm sad, man. That's not right. It's just not right.
Well, hopefully that situation gets resolved with the help of CM Punk, but maybe not. All right. We're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
What up, boss?
Yes, we're joined by Mr. Ricardo Negron. How's it going, Ricky?
Going good.
Yeah, sounds good. So for those that are watching live, you will notice I am not on camera tonight. I have a bit of a headache, so I will not be on camera, but I'm still here. This will still be entertaining, so stay tuned. So before we get into our WWE Fastlane predictions and everything else that happened on Monday Night Raw, so on and so forth, I'm going to pass the mic over to Dana so she can let us know about some of the news stories that took place this week. So the floor is yours, Dana.
Beep, 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 boop, 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 boop.
That never gets old. All right. So, as you guys already know, we are getting an ultimate deletion match between Bray Wyatt, and Matt Hardy. It was just filmed yesterday at the Hardy compound in North Carolina, and it is possible that the match will air on WWE Monday Night Raw instead of, say, WrestleMania or even Fastlane. Referee Sean Bennett was sent to be the official referee for the match, but there's no word yet on other talents being brought in for filming. However, Jeremy Borash, who was recently signed on with the WWE to work developmental, was working at the production. So he was there, so we might get a little bit of something. We already know that Jeff Hardy has already been cleared, so I guess it's just a wait and see what they decide to do.
For people that don't know, he was a major player on the whole stylizing of making it look like a B movie and doing all that stuff. So that's key. So if people are like, oh yeah, it'll be great, now it'll be more authentic because Jeremy was behind him. So
yeah, true that. We are getting not one but two pre-shows for WWE Fastlane this Sunday. Hours before the show kicks off, The New Day and Dolph Ziggler will join a live WWE Now preview of the event, which will be hosted by Renee Young and Kathy Kelly, which will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want another, 12 hours of wrestling, you have the pre-show. WWE has also decided to part ways with the following wrestlers: Abby Laith, which, was very unfortunate, but she already tweeted that she's back at work and that she's going to be at Philadelphia at Beyond Wrestling. So she secured, oh my gosh, I cannot speak. I said secured. She secured. We also have Save Beckett, who is a Dudley Boyz trainee, who previously worked as an independent, and also who was Rosie Lotta Love in TNA. And lastly, we have Google, I cannot pronounce it. It's like Gugelman Ming. Basically, she just goes as Ming. She was let go as well, and we're also going to get more probably next week. So, you know how that goes, always these cycles where they just, release a whole bunch of talent. In hilarious news, Johnny Bravo, who is a filmmaker, has been documenting or attempting to document the whole Roman Reigns situation, with that whole thing about him being involved in this big steroid thing. Come to find out that it was Reigns after all, but it was a Luther Reigns, who many years ago was a WWE wrestler. So he, and not Roman Reigns, was a part of this drug deal or steroid thing. And basically that means we're going to get more Roman. Roman is basically in the clear. So yay. He also announced that Brock Lesnar was a part of it, but we already know. And does anyone really care? I don't think so.
Told you it was too good to be true.
Yeah, it was. Oh well, there's always drugs in the future.
There we go.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio was in during the Northeast Wrestling Show last weekend, But that's not going to stop him from making a possible return with WWE. As reported, his left arm was suffered some type of an injury or a tear. And, people were like, oh, he's not going to wrestle again. He's not going to be at WrestleMania. But it seems that his diagnosis is going to be good. And it just is in 3 to 6 weeks instead of 4 to 6 months, which was reported the first time. So we might see him sooner than later, and he's promising that he's going to be back in the ring. He didn't say that it was going to be a WWE ring, but as we already know, he's in talks with WWE. He was already seen filming a couple of segments, so who knows what happens. NXT Tag Team Champion Bobby Fish and Undisputed Era. As you know, Fish underwent knee surgery on Thursday. And this means that he's going to be out for a long time. It's probably a minor tear in the ACL or the MCL, but this is going to end up affecting the upcoming pay-per-view they have over at TakeOver New Orleans on April 7th. And as a result, it's being said that they might be stripped of their title. So we'll get the brand new champions. And also remember, we're getting a brand new title. So it's going to be very interesting to turn in. There's going to be a 6-man ladder match that will determine the champion. We have EC3, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Killian, Lars Sullivan, and Velveteen Dream is going to be competing. So they always seem to have great shows, so it might not suck after all. It's just very unfortunate news. Lucha Underground has decided to hand out cease and desist letters to majority of a lot of wrestling reporting sites, and that they're very upset with the spoilers that are getting out. If you don't know, when you attend the show, you have to sign an NDA, but that's not stopping people from talking, and they end up going to wrestling sites such as Ryan Satin, and they end up reporting what's going on, and somehow Lucha is very upset about this, and they feel that no one should know what's going to happen, and they should just watch the show instead, even though no one's watching them to begin with. But, it's very messy. But basically, a lot of the websites have been laughing at them and not even paying any attention to them. Rich Swann, he made his official exit from the WWE on February 15th. Remember, we're stemming a lot from that case that he had, whether or not he put his girlfriend or was his wife at the time in a headlock.
His wife, yeah.
His wife, yes. So what happened is he decided that he is going to retire. He posted the following on Twitter: after all the bookings I've taken, I'm so scared to step in the ring, but can't wait, LOL. But after they're done, I will be retiring. Thank you for taking the chance on my name. So good luck to him, whatever he decides to do. Alberto Del Rio, shockingly, is attracting interest in the WWE again. And WWE is thinking about bringing him back.
Don't believe him. Do not believe him.
I don't know.
I just can't see them. I just can't. This will be his 3rd time. Come on now. He's just and he's got drug problems. He's got a drinking problem. I mean, he's a liability. I just don't see it.
True, but he's been on the apology tour. He apologized to Vince. He apologized to Triple H. He even apologized to Paige. And Paige, as we know, she can't go in the ring right now because of the whole neck.
Nope. He would be bad news for her too to be there. Nope.
She has been touring with Insane Clown Posse. Remember, she has this new guy that she's dating. So WWE might, sign him anyway.
Insane Clown Posse. Oh man, where are her parents? Her parents need to get involved quick.
Yeah, but it was reported that he was at WWE headquarters, filming material, and it's going to be in relation to Rey Mysterio. So who knows? It's unfortunate, but who knows? WWE is investigating announcer Jonathan Coachman, the coach, amid allegations that he sexually harassed a co-worker during his time at ESPN. WWE has released a statement that says we take these matters very seriously and we are investigating. He's not suspended. He's not been fired, but they are investigating. For those who don't know, on or around January 18th of 2016, Sports Center anchor Jonathan Coachman emailed Miss Lawrence, who's suing him, offering to provide her with mentorship and providing his cell phone number. When he contacted her via text, he quickly turned a professional conversation into a personal matter, asking her about musical interests. He is employing the ESPN Predators playbook, is what many people are saying, and that colleagues had cautioned Miss Lawrence that Coachman was notorious for sexually harassing employees. After learning that Miss Lawrence made an effort to communicate with Coachman that she had a boyfriend, after which she did not hear from him again, and he made no other offers of mentorship. So I'm slightly.
So is that harass? Yeah, that's not really harassing. That's like, yeah, I'm a dog, I'm married and all, but can I get some action? No, okay, later. I mean, it isn't. It's wrong, but it's not really. Man, I don't see that as harassment. If he stopped when you mentioned that you're in a relationship, how is that harassment?
And also, he asked her about her musical interests. It wasn't like, hey, baby, I want to bend you over a piano. It was just.
Or he didn't just start grabbing her and stuff and force himself, It's like. No. I think and then the fact that she's suing, I think this is a money trap. That's all it is.
However,
now he's with the WWE, and it's like, oh, it's got money. There's money there. That's the only thing I see. I don't see any harm if he never groped her, didn't do any of that, and he stopped after she said she was in a relationship. So.
Right. But there's another woman who claimed that Coach sent inappropriate photos of himself and text messages, falsely telling her colleagues that they were romantically involved and that she wanted him.
Really? This dude is married and he's telling colleagues that he's. I still don't get it. I need more proof. Because usually if a guy is doing all that stuff, he's not bragging about it.
A third woman came out. She's a young.
Is he even married? Maybe he's not married anymore.
Probably not.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just loose.
She said that he made her feel uncomfortable and that he was complimenting her physical appearances and made passes at her. So it's everybody's just investigating at this point. I don't even know what to make of this. I mean, if it's true, that's very unfortunate. If it's not, then why even try to do this? But
sad.
It's very sad. I don't, but he's not been fired. He's not been suspended. Everybody is just looking to see what's going on, and hopefully there's really nothing to it at all. So it's just, we got to wait and see. We are also, let's see, I'm sorry, I completely lost my place because I was so taken aback by this whole situation. James Ellsworth is making news again. He's going to face Tenel Dashwood. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. In the intergender match at the Big Time Wrestling in Pennsylvania on March 30th. So he's making a name for himself. He's really happy. He loves what he's doing. And good for him. I don't have anything to say negatively about that. Now, this is a big rumor. Many people are not believing this at all. But Brock Lesnar wants to re-sign with the WWE. WWE still says that they're not interested. What they're saying is Brock Lesnar, remember, as we saw, he was not appearing on any of the shows. Paul Heyman made a big announcement saying that he's going to be back. So they seem to be in renegotiations on whether or not Brock is going to sign. He didn't like his contract. They offered him, it was like the same contract, but he has to work I believe 4 more extra days. And he doesn't like that. He wants the old contract that he had before, and he wants more money.
No.
And we have to wait and see. I guess WrestleMania we'll know whether or not once he, either loses or wins.
Mm-mm.
You're like, no.
He's gone. Novelty's gone. No. Time to move on. That's an old storyline. This beast who comes in every once in a while and has a mouthpiece. That's old. It's old. We're done. We can't keep doing it year after year after year and feeding all their star talent that's working all year round. It's not right, and it's boring. So no.
Yeah. WWE announced that they're running a pay-per-view at in Australia. It's going to be inside the 100-seat Melbourne Cricket Ground in Victoria, Australia, and is currently being reported as a done deal for October. They're going to make a huge official announcement at WrestleMania, which is on April 8th. Basically, it's going to be one of their biggest shows. It's going to be dual-branded pay-per-view, and that they're bringing all the talent as much as possible to this event that's going to happen. They're saying that they're signing everybody, and anybody that they now sign, is going to be at the event. Also, we're going to get Ronda Rousey as a headliner. So I don't know if this is going to happen.
Big. They never get anything big because they're down under. So it's tough for them to get any kind of major event going there. So this is huge. Hopefully it sells out. That's the whole thing. If it sells out.
It's going to be Ronda Rousey, John Cena, The Undertaker, and Rey Mysterio, if everything works with the signage.
Which this tells me then some of their Australian and New Zealand stars like Dakota Kai and stuff, they need to get a big push. So then that way it's like, all right, look who's coming there. Maybe win a title or something. That's usually the route that they go, right? They show up at their homeland and they win a belt.
That is true. I just, hope everything is available on the network because there's been rumors back and forth that it's not going to be on the network. It's just for Australia.
The time difference, it has to be on the network. Just has to be.
A lot of things that wasn't on the network. Remember the whole AJ winning at MSG?
Did they put that on? I could have swore they put that on.
No, they just
because they did other ones with that. Remember, they did a Brock Lesnar one, and they aired that one on the network.
Japan. I mean, they don't have to.
They don't have to, but you know what? If you're gonna advertise it the way they plan on doing it at Mania and stuff, like the house shows, it's house shows. Those usually are never televised. But if you're going to go to WrestleMania and make this major announcement about this big event happening in Australia, and obviously the rest of the world can't just travel down there. It's not one of those easily accessible locations in the world. So, hey, what do you have? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
I mean, you're always trying to get people to subscribe on the network. Be like, yo, here's one more thing to be on the network.
Remember that whole thing with Dubai, and they finally had female wrestlers, and everybody was wrestling in like that headgear stuff so that it was completely covered. That was never on the network, and that made history.
Yeah, no, that wasn't on the network.
Yeah, that was with Sasha Banks and some of them, and it never aired, and that was history making. So
she said she took it off, right? She took off that, or I don't know the full story.
No, she kept it on. You can't take it off.
Really?
No, you cannot take it off. They did like this huge thing where they wanted to respect the culture, and they had to wrestle.
How do you wrestle with that on? I mean,
no, it was like this. They made it where everything attached, and so it just worked. It was like really good material. It's like stretchy. Everything just worked.
I need to find some pictures on this.
Yeah. It was really weird, but it worked, and it was their first ever event, and it was like the first time women were allowed to wrestle, and it was not on the network, which made no sense at all. So yeah, it was stupid. So in really sad news, I know you're very sad about this, Adam. The case involving CM Punk and Colt Cabana at WWE. Remember back in November of 2014. Punk appeared on Colt Cabana's podcast and alleged that he was mistreated for back injury and concussions by Dr. Aman. And so Aman filed a lawsuit against the two for the comments they made, stating that basically they ruined him, they ruined his practice, they, made his name just completely associated with this mistreatment, and he couldn't get any work again. So they sued him. This case is going to trial very soon. It's expected to probably be settled out of court. However, WWE and the doctor seems to be just dragging so that they can suck all of the money out of CM Punk and Colt Cabana. CM Punk is good. Remember, he has all that Marvel money, and he has money. He's hosting some other show with Wade Barrett. It's going to appear on Netflix. So he has money. He's good. April still has that book money, so everyone is good on their end. Colt Cabana, however, does not have that good luck, and he is being drained financially from this. And he recently gave an update on the whole situation, saying that it's costing me a lot of money, and that's the extent of my lawyers will allow me to talk. So there's nothing breaking here, but just know that it's always on my mind and that it's a very sad thing. And I've talked to other podcasters. It's to kind of change the way that he's worked, and he's realizing that this is the reality where you can just host a show, have someone on, and they can make the damning, allegations, but you're sued as well. So he's going through it, and Punk and Cabana, their relationship is very fractured. There aren't any reports of, Punk trying to help out Cabana or anything at all. It's just a very sad situation that should have never happened in the first place, since I don't understand why you're suing the podcaster and not just the guy who's making these allegations. So
it's upsetting. And this is something that Punk, he can make this stop. Not even just financially. Just pick up the phone and call these dudes. And he knows Triple H, he knows Vince. Like, listen, let's work something out. You can come after me. Don't go after my buddy. I mean, he's an indie wrestler. Come on now. And all he did was his buddy wanted to come on. He's been on the show numerous times. And so he wanted to just talk about his experience. Okay, so he had some horrible things to say about a doctor. That was his experience with the doctor. Why is Colt involved in this? He didn't say, yeah, me too. No, he just let him speak his mind. I mean, no, that doesn't even make sense. None of that makes sense. And I'm surprised that he's still involved in this. Like, I knew that that whole court case was still going on, but to know that they were still trying to drag Colt down along with Punk, that just made no sense. Because it wasn't about the doctor. It wasn't like, oh, CM Punk. The title wasn't CM Punk comes on, talks about doctor ignoring staph infections. No, that was just one of many things. Because remember, he talked about Roman Reigns making him strong. He talked about how Ryback almost killed him. He had dirt and shit to say about everybody. The doctor was just one of many. So it's dumb. It's dumb. I just can't believe that. And I wish Colt all the best. He doesn't deserve this shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So, as we already know, we're going to get at WrestleMania, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Now, the reason behind this is not just the fact that, the 3 years ago that they had that cute little mini beef thing with The Rock, which it should have been The Rock instead of Angle. But the reason that they're going with this is because Vince McMahon wants this match to be a modern day version of the Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon storyline. So it's like he wants to bring back the little bit of part of the Attitude Era, except I don't know many people who care about this. It just doesn't have the same impact for me.
With Stephanie and
yeah, it's going to be between.
It doesn't
because
she's not Vince. You know what I mean? Vince was Diesel. Vince looked like a monster for a while. And he knew how to take a lot of bumps. And Stephanie, she's not legit that way. I mean, she comes out, she's great on the mic, and she does what she has to do. That's her role, play the evil villain. But in-ring performance-wise, I mean, it's not there. It's been a while since we've seen her actually in the ring to do anything. And I get it. I get why they're doing it because, hey, Ronda is green when it comes to this business. So what are you going to do? I mean, hell, even as Samoa drop looked kind of dangerous, kind of reckless the way she did it. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I didn't like the angle that Stephanie landed, but whatever. I mean, what are you going to do? You want to put her on a big card and you want to put her in front of limelight. So you got to do something. But I don't know. I think they could have figured another way around it. I don't think Stephanie had to be the one to do it. So
yeah, I don't know. Like Stephanie's no Vince, and Ronda's no Steve Austin either. I mean, it's not even close. Like Austin was a rebel. He was an anti-hero, and all that. And the fans were already had his back before that whole feud started. Him and Mr. McMahon. This is a whole different thing. And like you said, like it doesn't have the impact that the original thing did. So. I mean, if that's Vince's mindset on it, then he's stuck in he's stuck in his old ways then, because it's just does not have the same level of impact. I mean, this is just what we've been getting with, the authority. Well, we've had those authority angles. We've had that for like the last 6 years now, or something. Like it's just been drawn out, and it's old hat. They got to come up with something else.
I mean, the way this whole gimmick started, it's horrible. The whole thing with Kurt Angle and like, oh wait, you know what they're really doing? And they get sucker punched, and none of it fits. It everything felt like they're just pushing pieces together, trying to make something work. Like, oh wow, all right, we got to figure something out quick. Let's just do this. And it's crazy. I don't know if you're gonna bring this up in your listing there, because I don't know if it's too much news, but I mean, right now word's going around that that's gonna be the main event at Mania. They're talking about pushing that as the main event.
Yeah.
It's like, really? I don't know. I don't think people. What's the main event aspect of it? What, to see Ronda do what?
The only thing the only positive of that was that it wouldn't be Roman Reigns main eventing WrestleMania for once. So that's the only good thing about that. Otherwise, I don't care enough about that.
No. You got Triple H part-time wrestler, not even part-time. He comes in almost like Undertaker for a WrestleMania moment. Kurt Angle is pretty much retired. He only comes in whenever they need him for special events. Stephanie, who just doesn't wrestle, in there. And then you got the green, Ronda. So how does this combination make for a quality match?
But here's the thing, though. It sucks for an actual main event. That's awful. But Stephanie has Vince's personality.
Yeah, but that's not going to come off in the ring.
But here's the thing. Vince couldn't wrestle and still can't. And neither can Stephanie. None of his kids can wrestle.
But the thing is, Steve Austin could wrestle, and he knew how to throw him around, and which where Vince knew how to take the bumps. I'm sure Stephanie knows how to do it, but I don't know if Ronda's up to that level that she could start dishing out.
No, and on top of that, the story itself was very compelling, especially back for the 90s. The average corporate guy, sick and tired of his boss's stuff, takes it out on him. What exactly is Ronda going to offer? Well, how exactly are you tired of Vince or Stephanie or anyone? You've been in this company for less than a month. So I don't understand. Like, it would be fine for me if they build it up and maybe like WrestleMania 34. This is what we get. But for 33 and you just made your first appearance in the ring, like semi-wrestling?
Well, I mean, it is a thing where it's like, this happened back in WrestleMania 31. They had, what was it, like Ronda twisted Stephanie's arm or something like that. Well, big deal. So 3 years later, WrestleMania 34, you're gonna have them actually face each other in the match. It's just not when I remember that when that happened, WrestleMania 31. I was like, ooh, they gotta have a tag match like next year for WrestleMania 32, and it didn't happen. And it's like, okay, well, that ship has sailed, and they cannot recapture that magic, especially when you're swapping out The Rock with Kurt Angle. And like you said, like Adam was saying, Kurt Angle sounding like a dopey snitch. They're just like, oh, I heard that Stephanie was talking shit about you backstage. I'm sure that's gonna ruffle your feathers. And that's going to be enough to get Ronda Rousey, upset and everything. And that's the other thing. It's like you have Ronda Rousey coming in, and she's super excited and happy to be signing, and she wants to earn everyone's respect, and she doesn't want special treatment, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden it's like, Stephanie McMahon's talking crap about me. I'm gonna be all angry.
In my mind, what I figured would have been perfect, especially up to the point when she was like, listen, I don't want special treatment. I just want to be treated like everybody else. And then when Triple H was like, yeah, you're not going to get the fancy limousine, he should have just said, and you're going to have to work your way up. You're going to have to earn your spot. You know what? Yeah, you might be awesome in MMA. This is professional wrestling. A lot of this has to do with mind games and stuff. So we're going to book you in a bunch of matches. and we'll see how you do. And then poof, next you know, we see her in a match on Raw. We'll see her in a match on SmackDown. We'll see her in a match in NXT. She's just bouncing around, you know, maybe barely winning some matches, you know, but at least she's having matches. Have everybody talk smack. Have everybody hate her. Even baby faces hate her. You know what I mean? Just because they just think that she's out of her league jumping into this. You know, put her in that spot as the underdog. You know, flip the script. Because right now she is not seen as any kind of underdog. You know, everybody knows she can really hurt people. You know, she is the baddest female fighter on the planet, plain and simple. I don't care what anybody. Oh, she lost her. She won 6 in a row by armbar, telling these people she was going to beat them by armbar. You can't take that away. You know, so I think they should have went a different route with it. But
yeah, I was going to say that WWE's formula for creating big underdog baby faces is to stack obstacles on them, obstacle after obstacle, and so that you pull for them. And that hasn't happened in this case.
They didn't do it.
It's forced.
It's forced with a shitty storyline, and it's like there was no need. And I get it, though there was a need. WrestleMania, they wanted to throw her in WrestleMania, but in this type of match, I don't think this is bringing in the buy rates. I don't think anyone's like, man, now I definitely have to see this, man. WrestleMania, what, Ronda Rousey going against Stephanie? No, I don't know anybody saying that. I know a lot of wrestling fans. Nobody's saying that.
Well, maybe if she didn't get kicked in the face twice, maybe.
You know, so it's just, it wasn't there. I mean, for them to say, oh yeah, I want to make this like Vince and, you know, and Steve Austin, that was like years in the making. You know what I mean? That was a lot building up to that point when it started happening and spreading out. You know, this is not the same situation. This is not. It's not going to get the same result either, because with that one, everybody wanted to see it. It was at that point they're like, all right, I want to see this, because we knew what was going to happen. Steve Austin was going to kick, you know, Vince's ass, and we wanted to see it. But this is different. This is a tag match. She probably won't even get in the ring that much. A lot of it, I predict, is going to be outside of the ring. You know, she's going to run around the side and start slamming Stephanie's head against the barricade or on the mat or something, and it's going to be Kurt Angle and Triple H doing their thing. And then eventually, when it leads back in the ring, she'll get her finish, whatever finisher move they give her. You know, maybe it will be the arm bar, but there's a few people that do it now, so I don't know. And there goes that. It'll be quick. I don't see it being a long match.
I'm the only one that seems to be concerned about Kurt Angle's neck. Like, why is he wrestling? I'm confused.
Oh, he's wrestling. Oh, don't be careful. He's been wrestling with that injured neck for years.
Yeah, but I wouldn't throw it in there with Ronda.
He won the gold medal on the broken freaking neck.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's fine, man. He had that match not too long ago, well, a year and a half ago with Zack Sabre Jr. You know, and there's a cruiserweight that's twisting and turning and flipping and flopping, and they pulled off an amazing match. So he's okay. He's ready to go. He can go. But thing is that it's not about him. Nobody wants to see him do this. I mean, we definitely, unless it was a one-on-one match with him and Triple H, then it'd be different. And if there was some build-up and stuff, you know, do the like what they did back in the day when, remember, with the training and stuff, when they would show Shawn Michaels? Remember, he was doing the splits and he's doing all the workouts. And I remember they would do with John Cena and everybody doing the ropes and stuff to show he's coming back in shape. We don't know if he's even in shape to do this.
No.
I think part of it also is that they kind of spoiled it by throwing him into that Survivor Series. Survivor Series or TLC?
When
the
he
Shield,
did when he did the Shield thing.
Yeah, they kind of ruined the comeback there by putting him into that just because of Roman Reigns not being able to participate. And it's like, okay, you know, otherwise you could have built this up as like Kurt Angle's return to the ring, you know, after so many years. But nope, that's already been thrown out there, and we saw it, and it wasn't really all that impressive. So,
or have like an intern general manager come out for Raw and be like, "Oh, where's Kurt Angle? He's training," and then show him like in the gym, like, you know, pumping iron, do like a whole vignette of him working out, like, oh, do the. It was like, hey, you have him listed as a wrestler now for a match. He has to get fit. He can't do double duty like this. You know, then okay. Now we know something's gonna happen. But if he's still showing up in Raw and trying to do all this stuff, like, all right, I'll see you guys on Sunday, yay!
Yeah, they could just have him appoint an assistant GM or something while he's doing training. You know.
Yeah. And lastly, not necessarily news, but just a cute little announcement that was made by Reddit user CP Goat. The Undertaker's record match total is currently at 666. So that's interesting. Maybe he won't come back
of the beast.
Yes.
Isn't that also the address for Trump Tower? 666.
Wow. Nope. Richard finally says something.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there was a house we were looking at with my wife and I, and they told me that it was going pretty cheap and it was a decent sized house. And we're like, what's the catch? I mean, the neighborhood's great. What's the catch? It's the address. It's 666. You know, and I'm telling you, that stigma, a lot of people will stay away with it. And yeah, the house was decent sized house. You know, it had 3 bathrooms, the whole thing. And it's just, man, just to see that address. And it's like, yeah, we'll see something else. You know, that's a hard sell. They should just change the address. But
turn down a good house just because of the number.
You know what? When you have kids, that can be a problem. Because when those kids go to school and they were like, oh, where do you live? Well, I live down on, you know, so-and-so street 666. Oh, you're the son of the devil. Oh, you know, kids can be cruel. You know?
Yeah.
You know, kids can be cruel.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So thank you very much for that recap, Dana, of all the news stories. So now we can get into just having some general discussions about what you guys thought about this week's WWE entertainment. So let's start off with Monday Night Raw. I want to definitely ask you guys, what did you like and didn't like about this week's show? And let's go ahead and let's start with you first, Adam.
Sure. Trying to remember now. What's all the shit that I watched? Damn. Let me see. What I did not like the segment that they did with Ronda Rousey. All that shit doesn't.
Well, hold on a second. I thought you was a Ronda Rousey supporter.
No, it's not her fault. It's just the whole thing of the build-up with this match. None of it fit. None of it felt right. You know, with Kurt Angle saying, "Don't worry, I'm gonna be by her side, and that's right, Triple H. I'm gonna see you at me." None of that felt right. You know, yeah. I mean, he's stumbling and mumbling, and I'm like, oh man, why is this happening? You know, it didn't do anything for me. You know, the only thing that really got me interested in anything was just seeing the little segment for Matt Hardy showing the compound, you know, and saying this is it. He's doing ultimate deletion, and that brought out excitement because I'm like, all right, this is it, because that's the only thing that's really character based, you know, and that's what it was so fun before back in the day watching WWE. All these interesting characters. Papa Shango. Remember when he would come out and do his little voodoo dancing, and then the jobber that was in the ring would just automatically be laying out, and then he would just walk down and pin him 1, 2, 3. Like, what did he do? I don't know. He did some voodoo on him. You know, it's like I miss all that stuff. Was most of it cheesy? Yeah, but it was still fun. I mean, Matt Hardy's bringing that back. You know, it's crazy. None of it makes sense, but it's fun to watch. It's entertaining. You know, and it's just, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was really nothing else that stood out. I'm trying to think.
So I do have a few quick comments that I will make. First and foremost, in regards to the Matt Hardy promo you mentioned, I'm going to give a shout out to Ricky, because last week he says that he wants that this Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt feud to be deleted, and I agree 100% with that. I'm looking forward to seeing this ultimate deletion, but I still do not have faith that WWE is going to do it the right way. But I have to see it first. I don't want to completely say that it's going to be trash. We have to see how they handle this. I mean, obviously the video, yeah, it definitely got some people hyped. But we'll see what happens. You
have to have faith. We just heard about it. Jeremy Borash is there. The people, the main 2 characters that put all those things together was Jeremy Borash and Matt Hardy. There you go. And if you add the production value that WWE can supply, you're going to have a badass B horror movie going on here. You know, with all the editing tools that they have and the time that they have, it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be worth watching.
I think what made the original deletion so endearing was the low quality production.
No, but I mean, it has to look bad. I'm not saying for it to look like what we saw with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton at the house. You know, I'm telling, I'm saying to look bad with like some rough cuts and remember, oh man, what was it that he called? Oh man, when he called his drone. His drone has a name.
Vanguard 1?
Vanguard 1. Yeah, and they showed Vanguard 1. And I was like, there you go. That's another camera angle, spinning around. You know what I mean? It's like there's so much that they can do. And now that we know that Jeff Hardy has been given a green light, I have a feeling he's either going to show up there as Brother Nero or something else is going to happen. Maybe he'll show up at Mania. I think this whole feud still continues to Mania. And that's going to be the only match that I really care about, because we'll talk about it later. But TakeOver is the only thing that I really want to see out of that whole weekend. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be interesting to see if he brings in his father-in-law and his wife and, his son, King Maxwell and stuff. That'll be interesting if they go that route. But
that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
I think the fact that he is, they think about it. People can get concerned also, but look at the quality right now. He's got a great entrance. They're working with him to do all the stuff that he wants to do. They're running with this. It's working. Hell, look, he's got his merch. You know what I mean? Delete. For those listening, I'm wearing a Woken t-shirt, which is now a collector's item because according to Matt, he's going broken. So who knows? Maybe he might lose this and then just really go from Woken to broken. This might be that transition. But I think that they're giving him a chance. They're like, you know what? Do it. Because they already know if it doesn't work, he's still Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. That's the whole amazing part of all this that a lot of people aren't even thinking about. It's like the announcers don't have to spoof anything. When he comes out, he's not coming out with a new gimmick, but he's still Matt Hardy. You know what I mean? When he's not like Jimbo Gene or Jimbo Bob or whatever, some weird ass name. I'm like, no, we know him as Matt Hardy. It's still Matt Hardy who's just gone bonkers, and so it works. So if this whole thing falls apart, he can just go back to regular Hardy, and then they can just keep rolling in the money because that seems to be endless and it's timeless. People love to buy those shirts and people love to see Matt and Jeff do that thing. So they're like, you know what? It's a win-win. If this alternate version of you works and it works for Jeff, and let's do it. And it's working right now. It is working. I mean, not to jump the gun, but I mean, I was watching NXT and Tommaso Ciampa came out and he sort of did like a Roman Reigns thing where he was on a mic and people were booing him and booing and the whole thing.
I saw that.
Right. So, and then out of nowhere, it breaks out into a delete chant. Delete, delete, delete. I mean, it was loud. And I'm like, there you go. That just jumped into that whole yes, 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 and what? Now it's going to be deleted. I say years later, after Matt retires, is in the Hall of Fame, when someone's annoying or someone the fans don't like, we're going to hear that delete chant. It's always going to be in the universe.
Oh, well, I think these people, I think they would chant any and everything. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt to see how this thing turns out. But the video was exciting to see, so we'll see what happens. So a few quick other things I will say about some stuff that I liked as well as what I didn't like. So I did enjoy the Miz segment on Monday night, the little Mizzy's award segment, and I especially liked the way that he ripped Finn Balor, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that is exactly how he is viewed backstage. I'm pretty sure that Vince told Miz, go ahead and be rough on Finn Balor because this is how I feel as well. So I did enjoy that segment. I obviously the whole thing about a triple threat match, I don't like that because I still think that that's a bit of a downgrade for both of these guys. Seth Rollins especially, since this is the guy that just a week prior said, oh, well, if I don't win that Elimination Chamber match, then it will be all for nothing. And now all of a sudden he is excited to go after the IC title. So I don't like that. But I did enjoy the Miz set segment. I thought that was pretty funny.
No, I can't stand the Miz. I just don't like him. I've never liked him. Never liked him. I don't care. They're like, oh, he's doing his job and he's a heel. I don't like him as a heel. I don't like his face. I don't like anything. It just doesn't work for me. You know what? He's a great person. I'm sure I wish him and his family all the best, but I don't want him on my TV. So
hey, to each his own. We understand.
There you go. Some people like Hogan. I like Macho Man. That's just how it works.
Miz is a weird one for me because it's just like, you know, when I hear his entrance theme start up, I'm like, oh God.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I just boop. Fast forward. I'm out.
But then he gets on the mic, and when he gets going, then it's like, okay, you know, he's not so bad. It's a thing, like, I don't really care about seeing his matches. It's just more like the promo work that he does. It's like, you give me the promo, you give me the like the time that he ripped Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. That was just absolutely hysterical.
Yeah,
you know, like when
that's
he's
the whole thing. He talks. He's just a good talker.
Yeah, and I think for me, that's a lot of his value, is that he's a great talker, and he knows how to elicit any kind of reaction that he wants from the crowd, and so that's his gift. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. He's definitely future Hall of Famer and everything like that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna say, Rich?
Oh no. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, he's a good talker. I like the segment only because I would laugh at a lot of stuff that he said. Talked about the Jason Jordan, the bastard son of Kurt Angle. Yeah, I like stuff like that. So that was entertaining for me, at least as far as the jokes are concerned. But aside from that, one other thing I will mention that I did like about Raw, I enjoyed the Nia Jax Asuka match, and I especially liked how Asuka got the move, the armbar on Nia Jax, and would not let go of that move whatsoever. So, I think it's safe to say that now, with the way that they played out that whole storyline afterward, that I'm pretty sure Asuka will be facing Charlotte at WrestleMania, because there's no one else for her to face on Raw. A matchup against her in Alexa Bliss, I don't think that's going to do it, because it's not going to be convincing that Alexa Bliss has a chance in hell of winning that match. So Charlotte is who she needs to face next. But I enjoyed the match.
It was good. It was good, but then it's like, I don't know. Something about it didn't feel right with me. Just for Nia's sake. I mean, for the match it was. I'm just thinking story wise. Like,
oh yeah.
Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here for Nia?
You're turning her baby face. I think it's what it is.
It's one of those. Oh, real quick, it's just one of those things of like, it reminds me of when Steve Austin was going against Bret Hart, and he had the blood in his face. Remember, he was stuck in the sharpshooter, and then he just passed out. He didn't tap, but he passed out. He got beat that way, And I felt like something like that should have happened with Nia, but like with a submission. Like, yeah, that's armbar is a submission, but that'll break a body part. That's not going to knock someone out. It's going to force you to tap, And I've been putting horrible armbars. No one taps slow like that for an armbar. You're like, you're freaking out, because your arm is about to pop, So that pissed me off. She should have had like a choke. It's the whole segment there would have still worked if she had her in a rear naked choke, because she could have still did the bang against the turnbuckle. She didn't let go. She could have still had her where she was, Smackdown, did a back body drop and then tried to get up, and she's still holding on. It still would have worked. She would have just passed out. They would have ended the match, because right now this is 2 clean wins. 2 clean wins. So it's like, what do you do with Nia now?
Oh, Well, now she is going to face Alexa Bliss, I'm assuming, but since they had the whole segment later where she's crying, that obviously, as Ricky said, I believe that is the face turn for Nia Jax, because they want you to feel sympathetic towards the character. But I guess now she'll be facing Alexa.
That's how I feel about that. What are you gonna say, Dana?
No, I was just saying that I hated that so much. It was so horrible.
Hey, that's WWE. They give Alexa all the horrible things. I still remember that cringe-inducing segment that they had Alexa do with Bailey, and like, oh, let's bring back all the your old teachers and your ex-boyfriend and all that. That was one of the worst.
This is your life.
Yeah,
I don't understand what they was trying to do. To me, it came off as like, oh, we're gonna just fat shame you. And then we had like in real life where Nia's, writing all these posts about how she doesn't like to get undressed in the locker room because the actual girls make fun of her because of her weight. And then I just didn't understand what they was trying to do with that whole segment. And then having Nia actually cry, it was just so stupid. And then it was just, to me, it felt just really low. Like, this is the best you can do in writing. That reminded me of when the whole Jinder Mahal thing, when he made fun of Shinsuke's accent.
Yeah, that was horrible.
It's lazy booking.
I guess they felt that Jinder can get away with it because,
Yeah,
but you have the crowd
like,
even.
Hey, it's okay if he does it.
No, it's stupid. I didn't understand that, and we all know that Jinder is not the whatever race that they have him doing with that silly accent, and we all know that
Punjabi.
Yeah, that Punjabi thing.
I think he is Punjabi, but he's from Canada.
He's Canadian. He doesn't know. Okay,
but his ancestors, so he's just going based off of that. Yeah, it's cheesy, but that's just what Vince does. He likes to play those old stereotypes,
Yeah.
So to have that, and then you have the whole thing with Nakamura's accent, that was just so, I don't understand. It was disrespectful.
Very disrespectful, especially it's disrespectful when the crowd also says it's too far. So that was too much. So and one last thing I will say, and then I will give the mic over to someone else. As far as what I did not like about Monday Night Raw, well, we have to talk about that Paul Heyman Roman Reigns segment. Now, I like that Paul Heyman tried to make that the Universal title appear to be a much more important title, so on and so forth. All the comparisons that he made, I guess you could say he tried as best as he can, and it was fine. But to me, it's just I'm not really looking forward to this match at all. And I just think this is why you need Brock Lesnar there. To me, that highlighted, what the issue is with Brock Lesnar not being there, because I think people just want to see the physicality of Lesnar and Reigns. They don't want to hear all these promos being cut about to try to sell you on the match. We already know Roman Reigns is going to win anyway. So I was annoyed with that. That definitely, and it went on for too long also. But
it was too long, and then he was jumping from different points of view, re-explaining the meaning of the title. And when he was going into it, like, this is, his bitch, and then he started saying she, and using she, to describe the belt. It's like, oh, now you're gonna upset a bunch of people by doing it, because a bitch can also apply to a guy. It's like, but now you're calling it she, and that this is it, this is his bitch, and that's and this and this and that. I was like, oh man. Now you're talking too much.
And then you have Roman Reigns walk in there, like, and telling him to pick it up. Show the belt some respect. It's like, come on, these guys are trying so hard, because Vince knows this is how you can try to get some people to cheer Reigns. This is the whole reason all this is coming today. This is how we're going to get people to cheer Reigns.
But here's how sad it is, though. Yeah, we see it. We see what's going on here. Yeah. But who's going to be the number one contender once Roman wins? It's gonna be Braun, and Braun is over like Rover. You know what I mean? It's like, Braun is the face. So as soon as that, people are gonna stand up and start doing like prayer chant, and dancing in the street, because they want the belt on him. So then it goes back to people hating on Roman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you're doing this for what? You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, because people still won't like him, especially compared to all the other top guys. He is the most hated out of all of them. Who else? Even if you push Braun out of the way, who else do you got there? We got Joe. You could throw Joe in there. People are gonna cheer Joe. Joe could do whatever he wants. He can spit at the crowd. They'll still cheer him if he's going against Roman.
Remember WrestleMania 32 main event, Roman Reigns, Triple H. At the very beginning of that, you had Stephanie McMahon coming out and pretty much doing a promo where it's like, you're all just mindless slaves to us, and you need to bow down to your king, Triple H, and all that stuff. It was a last ditch effort to get the fans to boo Triple H and cheer Roman Reigns, and it didn't work. They still cheered Triple H.
Yeah. Remember, they tried not to show the crowd, and you could still see people doing the bowing. Bow down to the, it's like, because it's a double standard with him. Because then on the same turn, if you watch NXT and he shows up, he's the babyface. Triple H is the man, So when NXT takeover, every NXT takeover starts, you have Triple H coming out and talking about we're making this movement. And we're like, yeah, and then the next night we're supposed to hate you. It's like, what? Are you forgetting you're all in the same universe? People are watching all this and know what's going on. It just doesn't make sense.
Steph does the same thing. She's a heel until it's time to make a big announcement about the women's evolution or revolution or whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah. Breaking kayfabe whenever they feel like it, and think people don't wise up to it. Come on now, just stick with the character.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think Dana was going to say something, and I'm actually going to go to you next, Dana. So, did you have anything you wanted to say on this topic?
Oh, yay, me. Okay. That whole Ronda Rousey thing was just laughable and stupid. And you already know that I can't stand the fact that she's there and they have nothing to do. And she has nothing to do. And it was just the whole Kurt Angle situation. I don't know what to do with that. The Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar thing, you guys already said. It was so long. It was unnecessarily long. And I love how, WWE makes it sound so dangerous every time they say bitch. It's like, oh my goodness, he said that. So that was stupid again. I like the Asuka and Nia Jax thing. I think that their build-up was really smart, and I don't care. I like it. I like them two working together. And as I said previously, that whole Alexa Bliss thing coming out of the blue and making her cry, that was stupid. I don't understand the whole purpose of that. Especially the fat thing. That's just dumb. The bar and the revival, it's really weird. I know the revival is the end of wrestling, but I keep forgetting that they exist. They need to do something with them. They need more tag teams in the division. It's boring. I was really confused about the whole John Cena Goldust thing. It's nice that he got TV time, but I just don't understand what they're trying to do with that. That was kind of stupid.
He's willing to fill spots, just like with 205. What the hell was Goldust doing on 205? It's just like, hey, I'm willing to work. I'll do whatever. All right, go out there. There you go. You're pretty good on the mic. Try to get Alexander over. Do what you can later, and that's it. And it's the same thing. It's like, all right, we want to put Cena in the match, something quick. But who's down? I already got the paint on. I'm just all right. Then you go. There you go. Do you?
Yeah. And I'm tired of John Cena monologuing, and I would really like for Goldust to get released, just so he can do. I'm sorry, but remember that whole thing with Cody. He seems to be happy. He's being used. He's doing his own thing, and I do believe that Goldust. I forgot his real name, Runnels something.
Yeah, Dustin Runnels. I don't know. I don't think it'll work for him on the Indies.
But it just doesn't work at all in WWE. He's just, a nobody. I liked when they had the whole, R-Truth and Goldust thing. I thought that was funny. I miss them two together. And they used to have that vignettes go back and forth and it looked like little movie things. That was great. I don't know what happened to that. Is R-Truth still alive?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay, I think bring that back and do something. But Goldust he needs to either be released or go back with R-Truth.
No, he has a place. It's doing the job to the big guys.
Yeah, but you don't want to aspire to do anything more with your life?
Done a lot. He's all right. He's just collecting his check. Think about it. I mean, can you really see him going into the Indies and doing all that stuff? He's older than his brother.
Okay,
then he's been around a lot longer. He doesn't need it.
Just be Terry. You don't see him? No? Okay.
I think it'll be all right.
All right. I'm tired of Bayley existing, but yet she was there with Mandy Rose. That whole Absolution thing, once that Paige got injured and she's no longer there, they need to just dissolve them. I don't understand why they're there. I don't understand what is Absolution supposed to do? I don't get it.
They don't get it. It was too sudden. They're still running as if it's still part of the whole story with Paige.
No, they need to stop. And Bailey, you know, I'm sorry, they need to turn her heel or at least make her an adult because she's doing nothing for me. That whole Symphony of Destruction match, I'm sorry, I thought that was the funniest thing ever, and I'm still with it. I know you guys don't hate it. I know you guys hate it, and you guys think it's stupid. But if I have to sit through, you know, Goldust, then you guys should sit through Symphony of Destruction. It was great.
Oh no! I never said that I hate it. I will say though that for those that are Elias fans and watching this guy get squashed, that cannot be a good experience for them. But yeah, it's comedy, so I had no problem with it.
He's like the Santino. Elias Santino, let him get squashed. That's his role. If Goldust doesn't do, you know, does nonsensical stuff, then let Elias be the squasher. I like it. Of course, I'm excited for the whole Hardy compound. We'll see what happens either Monday or WrestleMania, or whenever they decide to air it. But I was very excited for that. I was jumping up and down and like, yay! The Mizzy Awards was freaking hilarious. So I like that. Maybe Elias can team with The Miz, and then boom, much better. And then Bo can go with Bray. So swap those two out. Seth Rollins and Finn, you know, that was all right. It really didn't resonate with me. Overall, the whole show was just meh, especially for a going home show. It was boring, you know. But it is what it is.
Absolutely. Okay, Ricky. So, what did you like and didn't like about Raw? Because I know you saw some of the stuff.
Well, I saw what I could. You know, like, you know, my work actually, I work late, so part of it. So I tend to miss like the beginning of Raw, but I tried to catch some of it on my phone. I distinctly remember on my way back home, you know, I'm riding the train and then I'm walking. It's probably not advisable to do, but I look on my phone and I'm watching Raw. And the part that really kind of grabbed my attention was when John Cena was out there, and then all of a sudden Goldust comes out, and I'm like, where is this leading? Where's this going? What is this leading up to? I'm like trying to figure out what's the point of Goldust going out there. And, you know, the conclusion of that, my thing was just to waste time. This was strictly just to waste time. You know, like Goldust attacks Cena, and it's like, then they go immediately to commercial break, like, oh, they're going to have a fucking match. You know, I don't care about it. So at that point, I turned off my stream, and I waited until I got home to catch up. So it was just like, you know, you get Cena and Goldust out there, and you lose me. So there's that. Yeah, I saw that the Bar beat the Revival. The Revival stays losing. They stay being irrelevant on the main roster, which is a damn shame. But they shouldn't have been on Raw in the first place. SmackDown is where they belonged, and this is just another example of, you know, poor booking there. The Bailey thing, you know, they're gonna just leading to a Bailey Sasha match at WrestleMania, which, you know, I guess it could be interesting, but I mean, we've seen it a bunch already in NXT, so it's going to be hard for them to really top that. But we'll see where this goes. This has to end with someone turning heel between the two of them. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. Symphony of Destruction, I thought was entertaining. You know, I always enjoy Braun Strowman, you know, lifting things and placing them down and destroying
lift them up, pick them down.
Yes, exactly. And breaking stuff over people's backs. And Elias has been quietly one of the most entertaining guys on the entire roster. I wish they would play his entrance theme before his segments rather than hearing JoJo say Elias every single time. But that's what we've been getting. But yeah, Symphony of Destruction was entertaining. See, Hardy Compound. Yeah, so I guess, you know, Hardy Compound, the we already discussed about the Ultimate Deletion, that stuff's happening. cool. And let's talk about that promo that Paul Heyman had, addressing the fruit roll-up belt that Brock Lesnar has been hiding from the rest of the roster for the past year, that we're all of a sudden supposed to care about because Brock Lesnar is holding it. Brock Lesnar is the title. It's never had to have one because he's been treated as above a belt. He's above the rest of the roster. He's been put on too high of a pedestal. He doesn't need to have it. This was strictly, again, another thing to put Roman Reigns over, which is exactly what's going to happen. Here's the thing, okay? I saved up for this part here. This right here is the real bitch. This is the real championship title. Okay, maybe this is just a replica. It's, a cheap replica. It's not the actual WWE title. But this is the belt that all of these wrestlers grew up wanting to win. They grew up fantasizing about winning the belt. Not that red one that Paul Heyman tried out there that Roman Reigns was saying, show some respect to this belt, blah, blah, blah. The belt that was held by Goldberg last year around this time. No. This belt, which is on Smackdown, is the real championship. The other one is a fake, as I put down my replica belt. But the Universal title is a fake. It's the same thing that the big gold was when they had that. It was really just the 1B to the WWE Championships 1A. It's just like, okay, I understand Heyman doing his part, trying to elevate that title again, and they sure as hell have been trying to do that with Raw by treating Raw as more important than SmackDown, even though SmackDown, again, like I said, has the real championship. But that's just the thing. The fact of the matter is, no one should care because it's been 4 years running of just trying to anoint Roman Reigns as the new face of the company, the top guy, the replacement for Cena, the guy that's going to get all the big championships and everything. And it's just whatever. This is Vince's playland, and we're just here to watch him. I don't know. Like, see, now I feel ridiculous. Saying all this stuff out loud makes you feel ridiculous. Investing so much time and energy and money into it. But I guess it's just one of those things where, like, there's enough good in it that keeps me and others watching. But you get reminded every once in a while that some things just are not, I don't know, just not so great. So I feel like I'm forgetting something else about Raw, but let's just go to SmackDown or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you had some good thoughts though, and I'm going to remember that monologue about the belt. I'm gonna make sure that I make that a special classic moment that I will go back to in the future when we talk about this stuff. All right, so yeah, if no one else has anything else to say about Raw, yeah, we can move on to SmackDown Live. I definitely wanted to ask you guys, what did you think of the show? If there was anything that you liked or didn't like. And let me just start off by saying the decision to have that main event, which is essentially the same match we're going to see at Fastlane without John Cena. Oh boy, I didn't understand that decision. I felt like they were playing up this whole thing with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and then you found out right on that episode, oh, well, Sami Zayn turned on Kevin Owens. So I thought that you were going to save a moment like that for Fastlane, but they decided, nope, we're going to do it ahead of time. So I don't know. For a show that's supposed to sell you on the actual pay-per-view, I don't really think it was good. Again, you know, SmackDown has been on a decline for a while now, so I didn't really enjoy the show. I saw, and I know we saw Randy Orton lose to Jinder Mahal. Again, this pushes the fact that, like I said before, we're going to get a triple threat for that U.S. title at some point. Maybe not at Fastlane, but definitely by WrestleMania. But other than that, I don't really have anything positive to say about the show. Very, very lackluster in my opinion. But Adam, what were your thoughts on SmackDown Live?
Didn't even bother.
I
went straight to 205. I did not even bother. Yeah, I knew I didn't bother. My phone was dinging, and I saw some of the announcements and max types and what they wanted to do, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work for me. All I cared about for Tuesdays right now, and that's been my highlight, is 205. 205 has been my highlight. Because think about it, we already know what they're gonna do. They're still running with the same old angle with Owens and Zayn. It's like you did this with Owens and Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you did the same teasing of what's gonna happen, who's gonna do this, you know, and everybody's trying to get the belt off of AJ. We saw that before too. You know, when they had Jinder and doing that whole thing. Come on now. It's just
true.
Nothing felt new. Nothing felt new. So I was like, what's the point? What's gonna happen? I mean, unless they announced that Shane was gonna be in the match, because they kept trying to tease that for the longest, like he was gonna have something at Mania. But that didn't happen either. So
that's true.
There you go.
Very, very good points. Okay, how about you, Dana? Is there anything that you liked or didn't like about SmackDown?
These hoes ain't loyal.
Oh,
just horrible. But no, I don't blame you guys. Like it sucked, but yeah, it was boring. But I did chuckle at the whole Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Not the fact that they broke them up, but the fact that they won't break up New Day, but they keep breaking up me and Kevin, and then Kevin and Jericho. But you know, the one that really needs to be broken up is New Day. Overall, the whole show was just meh. Again, SmackDown has been meh. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev was just thrown together. It was just like this weird little thing. Like, yeah, I'll face you. And then Nakamura bursting out in song. Like, it was cute.
Nope. Don't need him singing. Don't really need him talking either.
But see, he sings better than he talks. So if he can just run around singing, then he'll be good on the mic. But yeah, I didn't understand the whole purpose of that.
That's why he's the rock star, apparently.
Well, see, he's been doing that a lot in Japan. Like, he has a lot of those weird commercials that he's been doing, and he pairs up with. And I know he was on a kids show many years ago, but I just don't know what they're trying to do here. So overall, the whole show was just boring and a mess, and I felt like there was more commercial than it was an actual storyline. But I mean, I don't know. And the whole as you was previously saying, Richard, about breaking them up and it's not at Fastlane, that made no sense at all. It should have been at Fastlane, and then they have a match for WrestleMania, since WWE likes to rehash storylines repeatedly. But yeah, overall it was sad.
I agree, and I just saw that video, Ricky. So yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. So, well, how about you, Ricky? What did you like and didn't like about SmackDown Live?
So what I didn't like is actually, this is what I remembered I was going to say about Raw as well. What I didn't like is the big freaking letters that they put in every promo. I thought it was absurd that when they recapped John Cena's promo, now they're adding logos to it too, where it's like, you know, the WWE Championship, and I'm gonna get it at WrestleMania, like, and all this other stuff. How every like little like Instagram video promo thing that they do, they have to add big fucking letters to everything. Like, you know, Braun Strowman gonna catch these hands, or Baron Corbin when he talks, and they all of a sudden random words showing up on the screen. It's incredibly stupid. They need to cut it out with that shit. It's irritating. I thought they were just doing it for Dana's favorite show, the Mixed Match Challenge. I thought they were just doing that for those and that's it. But no, they're doing it for everything now. And it's just so bad. I can't. I need to move on from that because that I'm still mad about that. But what I did enjoy was Sami Zayn giving the haluva kick to Kevin Owens and pinning him to end that main event because while I thought it was a dumb idea for them to give away 5/6 of that match, days before the pay-per-view, I did find that ending to be amusing because you're again casting that doubt of like, oh, maybe Sami Zayn isn't going to help out Kevin Owens this time. So you'll try to build intrigue or whatever. I don't know how many people created subscriptions just for that moment, but that's just their way of thinking. Let's see. Charlotte Flair, Ruby Riott. I honestly, I couldn't care more about. I just do not care. I couldn't care. I don't know that. Couldn't care more. Couldn't care less. I just don't care. Nakamura Day. I'm looking. All right, so I'm gonna give a shout out to CageSideSeats.com. I don't know if you guys have heard that site.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They helped me a lot as far as with these recaps because I forget quite a bit of what I've seen over the week. So yeah, shout out to them. They don't know me. They don't pay me to say that. It's just a good site. Let's see. Becky defeat Carmella. Oh goodness, she's still. I see her and it's like, oh right, she has that Money in the Bank briefcase. I forgot that she has that, and it's just a thing with her where like I don't see a good opportunity anytime soon for her to cash in because what do? You don't have her cash in on Charlotte if Charlotte's facing Asuka. You sure as hell don't have her cash in on Asuka. Like it's just I don't know what they're gonna do with her. But what are you gonna say?
I don't mean to interrupt. I just will make a quick comment, and this is obviously not really something that we should be talking about yet because it's probably too early. But I do think, just by what you said, I think that they actually may have it be a failed cash in whenever she does cash in,
just to get rid of it. Then it's a waste.
Well, yeah. Unless they are going to have her beat Asuka or Charlotte, and the only way that's going to happen is if one of them gets attacked after the match by the person that they just beat, and then she comes out and cashes it because it has to be somebody that definitely interferes. It causes some type of chaos with that because it's not going to be believable that she can beat either one of them without some type of something that happens.
Man, she's had that briefcase forever.
Yeah, she has until June, I think, to cash in because it'd be a full year that when So I don't know what's going to happen, but obviously, I want to see whether or not they actually pull the trigger and have her win. Like if she cashes it in on Asuka and beats Asuka, although people will be livid if that happens. But I'm curious to see if they actually are going to have her do this.
I honestly believe WWE doesn't know what to do. Just like we had Shinsuke. Remember after he won the Royal Rumble and he didn't appear like on the next 2 shows or 1 show?
Yeah.
And their reasoning was because they didn't have anything for him. They don't have anything for Carmella. And I believe that it will be something thrown together. So I do believe that she could cash it in and try to beat Asuka, and Asuka beats her in 5 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. But no, go ahead, Ricky. I know you have some other things you were going to mention.
Oh, I just remembered that that opening promo with Charlotte and Ruby Riott was super awkward the way it ended because you had the Riot Squad was going to go attack Charlotte, and then you hear Bobby Roode's music play. Bobby Roode comes out, and you're like, wait, where are they going with this? And then they cut to commercial, and they come back, and the Riot Squad just did nothing. They just decided, like, oh shit, here comes Bobby Roode. We better back off. You know, like, it made no sense at all. None whatsoever. Like, it just made no. This was the equivalent of, like, someone winning an Oscar and making a speech and having the music play them off stage. Kind of like it. I think that was just a thing of, like, okay, this is going on too far. Bobby, just go out there, and they'll just signal them to just end the fucking segment. And I think that's maybe that's what that was. That's the only thing that only way I could explain that.
Can I make one quick comment? Because when you said that just reminded me of something else that I don't like about SmackDown, and also with anytime they have these matchups. Every single time, 9 times out of 10, whenever the person comes out to watch the match, they always get involved or get attacked. It's like you see it coming, and this is the predictability, because you remember what happened in that match, where it was Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton, and of course Bobby Roode gets involved in the match. So it's too predictable. But no, that's all I was going to say. I don't want to cut you off. Continue.
No, you're right. It's a lot of lazy booking. It's just they treat us every week like it's the first time that we're watching any of this stuff. So, like, oh, it's a big shock that the guest commentator gets involved somehow. It always.
What is he doing? What is going on?
Yeah, it's bullshit. Another thing that's bullshit is that the New Day are still together and trying to sell us on pancakes and unicorns and ice cream and cereal and whatever freaking other kid thing they want to do. End it. It's like, I don't know when they're going to split them up. And maybe we'll all regret them splitting up afterwards and wish that they'd come back together. No. But I don't know. I mean, hear me out. When the New Day formed at the beginning and they were baby faces, actually when the New Day formed originally, it looked like they were going to just be like, some like Malcolm X type of group thing, and that they were probably going to be heels. But they switched it up, and it's like, no, these are like, positive, it's coming straight out of church, happy-go-lucky guys who just want to have fun and all that. And
it was horrible.
Yeah, and the fans weren't feeling it, so they booed them, and they played into it. And it's like, okay, we'll continue to smile and all that stuff, but they're doing it as heels, and then they ramped it up, and they were super entertaining, in their heel run. And then they turned them face. Actually, they turned them face 2 years ago, right about, WrestleMania time for Dallas. They turned them face, like to feud with the League of Nations, if you'll remember those guys. And I don't know, they got stale, and it's just gotten worse and worse over time. And
the kids like them, though. That's the thing. Kids like them. They always pan, and then the camera always show, and even in the background while they're doing this stupid stuff, people still wearing the unicorns and doing all that dumb shit. So until the merch dries up, they're gonna keep doing it.
Yep. Big, bright, fruity colors and everything.
Kids liked Hogan, and he changed.
But Hogan was 48, and he was in a different company, so it's a little different there. Yeah. I mean, I totally get your point that eventually the image has to change, the attitude has to change, all that stuff. And you would hope that they would pull the trigger on that a whole lot sooner and just freshen things up a bit instead of getting the same old crap all the time. But look at John Cena. He hadn't changed in however many years, like 15 years or something. Never changed them.
But he is someone, as weird as it is, he can get away with it, where it just works. For me, New Day is so tired. I'm tired of seeing them. I'm tired of hearing their music. I'm tired of cereals and pancakes. I'm just tired of it.
No, I hear you that when New Day comes on, like, you know, it hurts my heart to say this because again, you know, I really like New Day as heels and stuff like that. You know, I've liked Kofi Kingston for years in particular, but nowadays when they're on, TV goes on mute or it's fast forward. If I have that option, I'm just not interested in their segments. What were you gonna say, Rich?
Oh no, you pretty much said it. Yeah. It's unfortunate because you know, I know they had plans for Kofi Kingston. At least it seemed that way when he had his little run with Randy Orton, that little feud there. But that's it. And I don't think they have anything for these guys after once they split them up. Which is why they maybe are keeping them together. Also because Adam said the merchandise. So, but yeah, I'm tired of it. Also, they need to do something with these guys, and you know, sooner rather than later. That's all I was going to say.
No, fair point. I agree with that. Yeah, then you got the Usos, and I worry about that with the Usos because I really like the edge that the Usos had when they ditched the fruity face paint and everything and went all hood on us. But I think that they're making them faces or at least kind of towing that line between face and heel. And I'm afraid that they might ruin things. That WWE might ruin things with them. But see.
I'm still waiting for the gimmick match. Where's this Uso Penitentiary? You know, it's like I want to see an Uso Penitentiary. Don't just say it and not do anything about it. You know it, Uso Penitentiary. All right, well, what is it? A gimmick type? Is it no rules? What is it? It's nothing right now. It's just a catchphrase.
Maybe they will figure out a way to utilize that match once they call up the Authors of Pain and they beat the hell out of the Usos. Yeah. And then, you know, because they will have a formidable opponent now, since they, much like Sheamus and Cesaro, keep asking, where's the competition? It's coming.
Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good points all around.
Yeah.
So,
they
actually had them talking too recently in English.
Oh, in English. Oh.
Yeah, they had them talking. It was it last week or the week before that? And I was shocked. I mean, Paul Ellering was talking, but then they jumped in and they said what I think they speak Arabic, and they said their piece, and then they came out in English. You know, we're gonna kick your ass, and we're gonna take. I was like, all right, here we go. It's coming.
Well, isn't like one of them from America and another from Canada or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, they look like brothers, but I think they teamed up before. They were a tag team before. So I don't think they're fresh, you know, like working together, because those guys, when I first saw them, I'm like, oh, they put these two big dudes together. They probably don't know how to. Oh my Lord, they know how to work. All right, so these aren't two former, you know, football players that are like, all right, let me give a go at this, because that's what the other two guys are that are in that title match. I forgot their name. Not Murphy. What's his name? Oh man, there's two dudes that they're former NFL players, and they have them tagging together. They're in that tournament. Forgot their name. Doesn't matter. They're not going to make it. One of the guys has been there forever, you know. But
yeah, we'll see.
Drawing a blank on that too. I can't.
I'll look it up. I'll see who they got on that tournament.
Oh yeah. So in the meantime, okay, so 205 Live. I believe I'll just tell you right now, I didn't watch 205 Live, so
see, you watched the wrong program.
Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli. I think that's what you're thinking of, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Sorry,
so
continue.
Oh no. So 205 Live. Who wants to talk about what they liked and didn't like? Because I didn't watch it.
I'll talk about it real quick. I liked both matches. Just like actually, there was 3 matches on it, but I liked the matches that they had for it. The main one that I really did like was Mustafa Ali. That's the guy who does the front flip, the front roll off the top. I forgot what he calls it. It's the inside 360. You know what I'm talking about when he jumps. Cesaro used to do it, and I don't know what happened. He stopped doing it. And he had an amazing match, and he was able to advance. You know, and that's the thing. He was going against that Buddy Murphy that they keep pushing. You know, and I never saw Buddy as. I mean, Buddy can work. He you know what is he does? He takes the DDT the way Rob Van Dam used to take it. Remember where whenever there was a head plant or any, Rob Van Dam would just like go straight up on his head. And you're like, oh man, that looks devastating because it's all about the forearm and the balance. And he does that perfectly. So he was selling moves left and right for Ali. He's a great worker. Right there just proved that he's great. It was a great match. But when it comes to advancing for the title, you got to give it to the guys who have been there, grinding it for what, a year and a half, 2 years, and Ali deserves it, and that's it. And Ali won that, and we moved on. What's his name? Moved on also. The guy that was part of the Zoe train. I keep calling the Philadelphia guy. Man, Gulak, Drew Gulak. And it's funny with Drew Gulak because I remember hearing about a lot of indie wrestlers talking about, oh yeah, I was trained in Philly under Gulak, and I'm like, I don't recognize this name, and then I looked him up and I was like, oh, he did a lot of indie shows, did this, he worked in all these other promotions, never watched any of his matches, and then all of a sudden for the cruiserweight title, boom, Drew Gulak. I'm like, oh, this is the guy, he must be legit, and he is. He's a legit guy. He can do the bruiser style, and he can also get technical. And that's what we're seeing now. He cut all the BS of, oh yeah, I got the Excel spreadsheets and all that. They cut all that BS out, and he's actually performing in the ring, and he also advanced. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and I enjoy watching those matches. They threw in a tag match. They have what you call it, Hideo Itami and the Screamer. Oh man, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this dude's name. They went against Jarvis, the other Japanese guy, the Tozawa, and they had those two go against him. They did their thing, but it was all right.
It's cool. Sounds good.
So yeah, that's it. Oh, for a second I thought I lost everybody because everything froze. I was like, oh, but yeah, no, that was interesting. That was interesting that it looks like they're getting ready for the tag titles, because remember that that's the other news that came out, that they're gonna introduce a tag team belt for the cruiserweights. And it's been done before. They've had, I don't know if they've had it, but I know other promotions have had it for the cruiserweight division. So give them something else to challenge for, because that's the thing. It's like you have all these people in this in your division, or pretty much that's what this is. It's the show built off of just one division, and everybody has to go off for one title. Well, you only have one title, so unless you're really creative and giving everybody all these other storylines to distract them from wanting the title, then what do you do? So what did they do? They create another title, and so we have a tag team, and then you could pair these people up and they can fight over that, and until eventually we figure out something else. But it makes sense. I mean, look, we got another title coming to NXT. We already have those type of titles, the Intercontinental, the U.S. Championship, and then we got the British one that's out there. But before that, we had the Hardcore title, we had the European title when that was a thing. So,
yeah, I just want to ask one very quick question. So when they bring those tag titles in, are we going to get the return of Brian Kendrick along with Paul London? Because you remember the tag team they had.
Yeah. Well, Paul London is a big player over at Lucha Underground. He's got his own crew there. He's got a big crew over there. What was it? The Rabbits or Rabbit Squad? It's this crazy gimmick that he has over there, and he's still under Paul London. So people know it's him. And he can still move and still work, and he also does a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Lucha Underground. And he's another. I mean, if they offer the money, I'm sure he would go back, because he's openly done interviews saying that he was just young and stupid and he made some bad mistakes. Sort of like the same thing with Kendrick, when he was there. They were up high, they were young, they were doing a lot of stuff, and then they started, slacking off, not no showing, but showing up late and doing other bullshit, and they got their releases, but Kendrick, hopefully everything heals up with his face and he comes back. I mean, they still have him in the opener for 205. He's actually the opener's closer. The last scene you see is Kendrick, with his arms spread out, which is good, because it's like a constant, like, still frame reminder. Oh yeah, he's part of this, and he's legit. He's great to watch. Hell, the guy did the Burning Hammer, You know, he brought back the burning hammer. You know, for people that don't know, just go and, well, you can't do it now, but like No Mercy. You know, that was a video game movie, a devastating movie, flipping him. It's like a DVD, Death Rally Driver, but he's facing up. You know, in Japan, they banned that move. Too many people getting hurt. And I remember when I saw him do that in the Cruiserweight Classic, I'm like, whoa, the fans went nuts. First of all, because that's a banned move. You know, if you right now, if anybody's watching, listening, go ahead, look up top 10 banned wrestling moves in the world, and then you'll see that, the burning hammer. And he did it. You know, so it was good. So we'll see. But again, see, that just shows they're putting more faith into it. You know, giving it a new belt, you know, changing the format with these the quality of the matches, letting these indie wrestlers that they picked up do what they do best. This is why you picked them up in the first place. Like that till this day, I never really understood why Vince would hunt down, because he's done it before. He'll pick up all these other guys and just want to repackage them. I get the financial aspect of doing it, because you want to own the merch and you want to do all that stuff and make it your own, but you're also hurting yourself because you're killing some of the aspects of why people watch them to begin with. You know, their gimmick, or the way they, you know, they can do their certain movesets. Look at Kevin Owen. I mean, if you type in Kevin Owen moveset, there's like, he's not even doing 50% of what the man knows how to do. You know, what we see. And the same thing goes for Shinsuke. You know, and even AJ. I mean, I understand also, you got to package, you got to say, all right, set moves, 10 moves, 12 moves is what you do, we're done. I get that. But have it where if it's a pay-per-view event, crank it up. Like, all right, you guys want to go out, you want to try this, you want to try that. They let the females do it. You know, we've seen the females bust out all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's risky, it's crazy. We've never seen females do it. They're letting them do it. You know, and I feel like the only time I ever got to see anything like that was with John Cena. When John Cena would have a match, whether it was Kevin Owens or some of the other guys, Sami Zayn, you see all kinds of shit bust out. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Even John Cena busting out new moves. You know, it's like, well, why can't we see the other guys do it? You know, or hell, even Cesaro. A lot of people don't even know Cesaro was the mocap guy. I think he still is for the 2K games. All those moves that you see going on in the games, that's your boy Cesaro doing those moves. But, you know, whatever. That's what they do.
I was just showing real fast the burning hammer of Brian Kendrick doing that.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah.
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that move. Yeah. That,
oh, man. It is sick. It is a devastating move. And it's like just to do that. What was it? What's oh man, it's Kato Abashi, the guy who took it.
Kota Ibushi?
Ibushi, get it. Kota Ibushi. I always screw up his
name. One half of the Golden Lovers with Kenny Omega.
And he took it. And I know they planned that, they worked it out. And it's just like, oh, the fact that he did it was just amazing. Like when I saw that, I'm like, 205 for life. Brian Kendrick for life. You know, this is gonna be great. I'm so happy. You know, I'm gonna love this.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how about Dana, did you want to say anything about the mixed match challenge?
I just want to say really quickly with 205 Live that WWE is sabotaging its own great show by having it filmed right after Smackdown. The thing is that no one is sticking around for 205 Live. And if you look at the pictures that were posted on Twitter, there's literally like 30 people there in the entire arena. And that's because they're trying to run home from after watching Smackdown because it's complete garbage. So, you know.
It's all right. It's all right, though. But it's the network. It's getting the viewership. People are tuning in, and then they'll watch it, and then they'll see the quality. It's going to take time. Just like NXT. I remember when I was watching NXT, and I'm like, yo, this is different. And I remember telling some people, like, yo, you got to watch it. That's a development bullshit stuff. That's like, no, you don't want to watch. No, I was like, no, they're actually like having great matches on this. It's not just bullshit. It's going to work. And then when the Shield and then the Wyatt family came over as those gimmicks, you know, I'm like, yo, this is going to be legit. They're developing characters, and it's not like, oh, we'll send them there, we'll fix them up, and then we'll give them new characters. This is just a place for them to practice in front of a live crowd. And it actually became, in a way, it's a territory if you think about it, you know, out of Florida.
Yeah, but still, it's people are just leaving, and if you look at the pictures, it looks so sad. So And people know that it's good. They know this. So I just don't understand what is going on. Unless it's the kids. I don't know. It's just terrible.
It's the timing is bad. I mean, it's the fact that you have SmackDown in the 8 to 10 slot, meaning that you can't slide 205 Live to before that. You know, it's not like you have SmackDown go from 9 to 11 and have 205 Live go from 8 to 9. That'd be the pre-show of sorts and everything. That's not what's happening. People are there because SmackDown is the main course, and once that's done, 205 Live is dessert, but not everyone has dessert. They're good with their dinner, and I saw it for myself, and I've said this a couple times that I was at the SmackDown after WrestleMania last year, and I thought that at least some more people would stay to watch 205 Live because, this is, after WrestleMania and you've got a big international crowd and everyone's going to want to see as much wrestling as they can. No, they filed out en masse. And that includes a guy next to me who came from Germany. He was like, peace out, and we were in third row from the ring, and despite however much that ticket cost for him, he was peace out. I'm heading out of here. And it's like, wait, but there's still more wrestling. Like you had 205 Live. I think it was Austin Aries had a match against Neville, or was involved in some kind of match with Neville, and then you even had the dark match, which was Shinsuke Nakamura against Dolph Ziggler. There's plenty of reason to stick around after SmackDown went off the air, but people just left, and it was an eye opener for me, really. Like, just like how bad a decision, how it's an unfortunate spot for 205 Live as far as the crowd goes, because they're just not going to get enough representation. People staying to watch. It's like, okay, you're done. You got to see AJ Styles. You got to see Randy Orton. Are you happy? Okay, let's go home. Let's beat the traffic. That's how a lot of people treat it that are in the audience.
People suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But the Mixed Match Challenge, again, very good. Everyone should watch. I know you guys are watching and excited for what happened last week. Yay. No? Okay. Fine. Basically, I was Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. They was fighting on behalf of Connor's Cure against Jimmy Uso and Naomi, who was fighting on behalf of Boys and Girls Club of America. Again, this is not canon, so everybody was just having fun. Basically, it was just Alexa Bliss and Braun flirting with each other, and it was very cute. It was very adorable, and him pretending that she's like a foot tall compared to him, and so it was just really nice to watch those two just joking and having fun the entire time, and the side eye and him giving that little lovey-dovey face. But Naomi and Jimmy Uso, they were fun and cute as well. They were really happy. And basically, we all know that Braun won. And of course, we could kind of expect that because the whole Connor's Cure thing, and WWE is really behind Connor's Cure. But it was just a very nice and decent and cute match. So you guys really should watch.
Yeah, we're totally in it for the cuteness.
It's not canon, and it's fun.
I'm glad somebody's watching it. There you go. Enjoy.
Man, y'all suck.
Well,
it's like 10 minutes.
Well, I actually did see it. So I mean, I always see it just to see what happens. Yeah, the stuff with Braun and Alexa is that was interesting to see because you don't really ever get to see that side of Braun when you're watching Raw.
You don't want to see that,
although they are trying to do more of that with him playing to the crowd and stuff. Oh yeah, but you're right, Adam. Yeah, we shouldn't see that because
no, he's the monster. Come on, live up to the name.
Yeah.
Guys, it's for charity. That's like we're visiting children's hospital. I don't want to see Braun run around yelling at kids.
Do that and then don't televise it. How many interviews have you seen the Undertaker do out of character? You know what I mean? There's certain characters that they keep, and they're like, we're going to protect this character for years on. We're going to protect this character, and they don't do it for any of their main guys now. They did it for Undertaker, but they stopped. They definitely stopped with Kane. The hell, corporate Kane and stuff. Are you kidding me? It's like just killing it. It's like it doesn't make sense, but. I think Braun was in that category. He's a big monster. I don't want to see the big stereotype. Oh, he's a teddy bear at heart. And no. Don't want to see that.
You can't keep up kayfabe anymore. That ended with that whole Click situation back in the 90s.
Oh, man.
Them days are gone.
I feel like singing that damn Eric Draven song. It can't rain all the time. It can't rain forever.
Not today with all this internet access. For me, it ended the day that I found out what Sting's real name was. So.
Oh, can I share a story of like the first time that I ever got a result spoiled for me? Like, if you remember, there was a period of time where Raw was taped. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
It was taped, and I remember it was like I was in. Well, goodness, I'm showing my age here, but I think I was like, what, like?
It was 1964. I was 18.
It was like 6th grade. I want to say 6th grade or 5th grade, one of those. It was probably 6th grade. I had a substitute teacher in that day, and I guess on Raw they were supposed to have like a battle royal to figure out the number one, who's going to win the Intercontinental Championship or number one contender. It's going to be a thing where whoever the last two people in the ring were going to have a match for the Intercontinental Championship. And I remember that substitute teacher, like I found out he was into wrestling, so I was like, yeah, it should be an interesting thing. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be Razor Ramon and Model Rick Martel. I was like, oh, we'll see. I mean, that doesn't sound likely, and that's exactly what happened. And I don't know how he knew, this back in like 1994 or something like that. But I was like, I just remember like watching Raw that night and seeing it play out exactly the way he said. I was like, oh my God, he's a genius. He's a mind reader. I can't believe that. But then was it years later when Richard and I were friends in high school, and I remember that I used to go to the library and I used to see Smackdown spoilers because Smackdown was always taped, and I would print them out and show it to Richard the next day at school. Like, check this out, like, oh, D'Lo Brown is going to win the European Championship. Like, wow, like how what is going on? And then it occurred to me like, oh right, it's taped now, so it's not actually happening live, and that's when it's like, okay, this all kind of got that's when I started to get into the whole thing, like with dirt sheets and knowing the business, the inside, and booking decisions and all that shit. The method to the madness and everything, but yeah, no, kayfabe dies once you're old enough to figure out like this stuff is rigged. It's, I don't want to say fake and get and all that, but I want to say, like, was it?
It's predetermined.
It's predetermined outcomes. Yeah,
it's still athletic performance. It's just
theater.
Predetermined. Yeah, it's predetermined. It's all theater. That's why so many of these guys get into acting as stuntmen and stuff. I mean, Christopher Daniels, one of he's done all kinds of work. I mean, I'll still know him as the original Spider-Man. Remember he had that match against Macho Man. That was awesome. And movie Spider-Man, that was him in the cage flying around.
Oh, that was him. Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
against Bonesaw.
Yeah, against Bonesaw. That was, and he still does stuff for Hollywood. You know, he's still doing his thing, and I think he works full time over at Universal doing something like that over in Florida.
Oh wow.
You know, so I mean, it is what it is. That's why I don't understand when these actors get all upset. It's like, how dare they come into my world? They're doing live theater performances. They're the brutal version of what you see on Broadway, you know, because they still have to remember their scripts, you know, and they have to get physical.
They do their own stunts.
They do, and they have to do stunts. You know, a lot of that stunt work. They have to do a lot of stunt work, and then they have to, you know, just perform in front of a live crowd and stay in character while doing all of that. So don't tell me somebody's been doing it for years can't go on a movie set and do his lines for 10 minutes behind a camera. Cut. We're gonna reset somewhere else. Come on now, that's a piece of cake.
And they have distractions the entire time.
Exactly. They got people cursing at them, screaming at them, cheering them, touching them,
booing them, throwing things at them,
playing with at them, stabbing them. Remember, Roddy Piper got stabbed in Puerto Rico and shit. You know?
Yeah, or people running into the ring and then getting beat down.
Exactly. You got run-ins.
Those were the good days.
Those were the days. But that's life, you know. It is what it is, and it'll always be that way. I don't see it ever changing. You know, it doesn't matter if The Rock is a #1 paid actor, you know, in Hollywood, and he came from pro wrestling. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if John Cena becomes #2 or does whatever. Doesn't matter. Wrestling will always be frowned upon. You know, it's lowbrow entertainment. It's just the bottom line. That's the way it'll always be seen. You know, till this day, go ahead, go out there and tell somebody you like pro wrestling. See their facial expression. You can tell them that you're into superheroes and comics and video games and tech stuff like an iPhone and all the geeky shit. But once you tell them you're into pro wrestling, you get that smug like, what?
No,
and
I think it's
reaction. You know it's fake, right?
It's more accepted though. I mean, when you have actual news outlets, but there's actual news outlets reporting on it and supporting.
They don't give it. They do it because of the ratings, and they're told to do it because they want the viewership. They want those marks to watch. They don't respect it. They'll say, you know what? That's an awesome program. We love it and we want it. No, it's all about numbers. That's it. Think about it. We had wrestling on the Sci-Fi Channel. Wrestling on the Sci-Fi Channel has nothing to do with anything. Why couldn't they get on ESPN or something like that? There you go.
Yep. But now you have it on USA.
It still shouldn't be there. That deal was an old deal that they were trying to put in because they wanted, you know, WWE wanted to get on NBC and do those main events again. But those main events never panned out. You know, it's a Saturday night. Usually people are out doing other things. They've been watching wrestling all week, you know, and then Saturday night they want to go out. They don't want to have to come home at night and watch more wrestling, you know, especially if there's a pay-per-view going on or something like that. It was just a bad time slot.
But they had huge draws. Remember that whole Mike Tyson they was able to get?
Oh, when you throw in like spectacles like that, yeah, you're going to get a bunch of them, but just the product itself. If you just have wrestler versus wrestling, you don't have to throw in Mike Tyson or, you know, Mayweather or those type of things. Those are always going to bring in the outside outlet because people want to know about them. What is this person doing in pro wrestling? You know, what's going on? That's bullshit. Why would they get into that?
You know, but yeah, they don't want fans don't want redundancies. It's going to be like, okay, so if you don't have the big spectacles, you're just going to have the regular roster and you're going to throw them on a Saturday. What am I going to see on Saturday that's any different than what I see on Monday? You know, like every week, it's just a redundancy thing. There is, and I said this. I think I said this to Richard in a private chat. There is such thing as too much wrestling, and
oh yeah,
I experienced that last year. Again, WrestleMania trip. I think I went to a wrestling show for 5 straight nights, and by the end of it, I was gone. I was dead tired. I'm like, I've had too much wrestling. I need a break. You know, it was crazy. Like there is such thing as too much. I already feel like you get a lot between the 3 hours of Raw, the 2 hours of SmackDown, and then you get the 205 live. There's the mixed match challenge. You know, I don't care if it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. You get. I don't know if I mentioned NXT. You get NXT. You know, and whatever else I could be missing throughout the week. It's every week.
Yeah, I was telling Tony over from the Throwdown podcast we were talking about. He was like, "How do you guys go on for like 3 or 4 hours talking about this?" I'm like, "Because there is a lot of programming happening. It's not just one show. It's not even 2 shows. It's like 5 shows. It could be even more if we really start talking about New Japan and Ring of Honor and crappy Impact. It could be longer because it's a lot. And this is not like, oh, we're going to talk about some old news that happened a while ago. This is every damn week. Every damn week. You know what I mean? And then if you throw in these pay-per-views, and those are multi-hour events going on along with all the other events. It's not like, all right, we have this pay-per-view going on, we're gonna discount this show and turn this one off for this week. No, they keep it going. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening. And I mean, we see it with just in regular sport news. And that's why I always, when people are like, whenever like me and a buddy of mine were talking wrestling and other people walk by, I'm like, you still talking about this? You talk about it like people talk about like real sports. It's the same thing when it comes to, you got all those teams where you got all these wrestlers. You got different teams, different brands. We got different promotions. Different events happening on the weekends and the weekdays. Same thing here. Everything is there. It's just scripted.
Just to further your point, this is a prediction show relating to particularly the prediction show related to the pay-per-view. We haven't even touched on it yet because we were addressing all the stuff from this week, just this week. I mean, we addressed a lot of stuff last week. It's just the thing. There's so much content every single week, and so much news and everything. It's wild. That's how it is.
That's just the way it is. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do.
Have we lost Richard? Oh, there you are.
I'm still here.
He'll have to go watch some wrestling. He's like, I gotta catch up.
Get some lucha underground.
There you go. See, that's the other thing. When you were talking about that wrestling fatigue, I feel that almost every day. Almost every day I think about, why am I looking up news? Why am I watching the network? But you know what it is? It's so ingrained in me now that if I'm sitting in front of TV and I don't want to watch any true crime shit and I'm not sure what I want to watch, something mindless, I turn on the network. And then I just like scroll down and pick something. Wrestling. I don't like to watch any of those other little reality stuff. Which is wrestling related, or I have Ring of Honor DVR'd or Impact, and then I'll just put that on just to see what they're doing, and it's just something relaxing. I don't know. It's like a comfort zone for me. I jump in it and that's it. Different world. This is a wrestling world. And I at times I feel like I'm watching too much of it. If I really do the math, start thinking about it, you got 3 hours, the 2 hours SmackDown. I've been cutting down on that because it's repetitive. But then I got back into 205. That's a full hour. NXT is a full hour. So even if I just add WWE products, I'm looking at 5 hours right there. 3 of Raw and then the 205, and with the NXT.
Add on pay-per-view with the pre-show, which has a pre-show.
Yep, then you add on the pay-per-view, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. Now they're all going to be 4 hours. So add 5, 4, 9. There we go. Okay, now let's see if I can squeeze in. Usually I watch Ring of Honor Saturday nights. Like tonight, maybe I'll jump in and watch it. Or Sunday night. Well, this is Friday, so tomorrow night. Or Saturday night or Sunday night, I'll just put it on real late because it's on. And that's an hour. So then, boom, if it's a pay-per-view, that's 10. Then if I'm really bored, then I'll jump into Impact and I'll see what's going on there, which is a train wreck just to watch, but it's always interesting to see all this stuff because the tapings are so behind what we know already. I mean, EC3 is still competing, in their tapings, and we know he's gone, so it's just, I think they're building up to their main event Crossroads or whatever. So if I watched Impact of what aired yesterday tonight, I'll see if he's gone already. But
I wanted to comment on that. I know you mentioned Impact that I saw I saw this on Twitter because like Twitter tells me about any wrestling related stuff, in case you missed it, blah blah blah. And there was footage of like Sami Callihan hitting Eddie Edwards with the baseball bat and like breaking like the orbital bone or whatever, and he was like bleeding a lot afterwards. They showed a picture of Edwards, getting treated, like backstage or whatever, and whatever reason, there's a TV on next to him, and the TV is showing the Patriots and Titans playoff game, which was in January. So that shows you how far back that taping was.
Yeah. You know, and it's just so we didn't really talk about this. It's just to sprinkle in some more little backstage news of what's talking. There's word that AAA might come in to buy Impact. You know, and then you got Lucha Underground that just partnered up with Impact to do some kind of cross promotions and stuff for touring and things like that. But AAA and Lucha Underground don't get along. So if AAA does buy Impact, there goes another partnership for Lucha.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's going to be tough because then it's like, how do you keep these wrestlers to stay with Lucha when they're like, hey, if I sign with Impact, then I'm also sort of signing with AAA and I can do more shows, more events, make more money. You know, and the thing with Lucha Underground, and it's just all taped. It's taped series, and it's very much like a TV show, and it's tough. It's tough, especially if you're trying to give these people these weird contracts where they can't wrestle until the entire season has aired. I don't know if that still applies, but I mean that was one of the factors that Ricochet left. You know, and I know it's a factor that a lot of other guys had left. You know, they need to make the money because it's like, oh, you can't work in North America until all the episodes air, and it's like, well, you take forever to air your shit. I remember they took a long, like 2 or 3 month break, mid-season break. It was ridiculous, you know, to finish up that last season, season 3. Whatever.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think we should move on to the actual predictions now. Unless you guys had anything you want to say about NXT.
I mean, it was good. I mean, again, it's taped stuff and it's a little further back what's going on, but there was Aleister Black and was it Killian Dane? They had their match. It was a good match, and it was a good match. But then it was also, it felt like it was just a filler, like giving some time leading up to Takeover, because we knew Black is the man. Black is moving up. You know, I think Black will get the title, and that's it. He'll get that Takeover. It'll be done. You know, so they threw in Dane in there to like do the whole thing, but Dane lost. And if anything, I could see him and the other dude going up as a tag team, going up to the main roster. That's it. Let them go up. No, oh wait, they can't. That's right, because he got removed from the tag team. It's what's his name? It's in the tag team now. From Impact, from TNA. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name. The little man.
Eric Young.
Eric Young. He's now part of the tag team. So yeah, Killian Danes can pretty much bounce after this. You know, and he's a big guy. You know, Vince likes his big guys, so they could definitely move him up. You know, Drew should be ready to come back soon, hopefully. So I know they said he was over at the Performance Center, you know, working out and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely be back. By WrestleMania, he'll be back.
Yeah. You know, so and yeah, the only other thing that really happened, it was a tag match. It was a squash match, but the Tommaso Ciampa coming out. He had the crutch, but he wasn't using the crutch. So I'm wondering if the crutch is now just like a weapon for him. You know, maybe he is fit to go. You know, but I still don't think he is. But whatever. They had him come out, and nothing happened. Everybody booed him. They did the Roman Reigns thing. The only thing is that he did not drop the mic or after saying, you know, this is his yard. He didn't say shit. You know, so we'll see how far they go with that. Because I mean, under the storylines, Johnny Wrestling's gone. So people chanting Johnny Wrestling doing that whole thing, not going to change anything. I mean, he signed the paperwork, the release clause. We saw all that. He's gone. You know, and I still feel that he is going to get involved in 205 in some way. I have a feeling somebody they're going to say got injured. You know, they're going to do one of those type of things. Oh, he can't continue on. What do we do? And then Maverick comes out. I have a new signing who is deserving to be in this tournament. You know, and next, you know, Johnny Wrestling comes out. He gets a huge pop. You know, and who knows? Maybe he does win it. I think Roderick Strong needs it, but like you just said, don't want to say it. There was some NXT spoiler stuff, but yeah, we'll see. Leave it at that.
I also want to add that I really like Bianca. Bianca's growing on me. But she needs. Yeah. They need to like stop putting her in these squash matches.
She got hurt though.
So
I mean, I don't know how long she's gonna be out, but you know what's cool? That little twirl thing that she does, because I'm like, how does she move so slow like that? It's almost like a weird moonwalk twirl. I don't know.
Yeah. Good show overall. Great show.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's dive into the predictions for Fastlane. This would be pretty straightforward. So we have 6 matches planned so far. I don't know if we're going to get any other matches, that they may add at the last second. But okay, first off, we have Becky Lynch and Naomi going against Natalya and Carmella. I say Becky Lynch and Naomi win. How about you, Adam?
Becky Lynch and Naomi. Yeah, let's go with Becky. I'll go with Becky. Yeah. Let's go with Becky, because I mean, Becky, it's been a while. She came back from her injury. They're still trying to figure out what to do with her. So give her the push. Yeah, let her go over. It's sad, but it is what it is.
No, I forgot Natty still wrestles.
Yeah, she still wrestles. Remember, she was part of that. She was the champ for a while before the whole, losing it to Charlotte.
They just drop random storylines, people.
Yeah.
And I just forgot Naomi was just, still there.
Well, do you remember Naomi had the title for a little bit too?
Oh yeah, I mean not Naomi, Natalie. But yeah, Naomi, yeah.
Yeah, remember Natalya like having that meltdown afterwards, and it once she lost the match, and it sounded like she was going to retire, and I was like, like her, like yelling at the fans and everything, and then her crying on her way back, like out of the ring. It's like, where are they going with that? And they went absolutely nowhere with it. So just
that's why I forgot that she existed.
I remember years and years and years ago when they gave her a farting gimmick.
Oh.
Like Natalya actually had a farting gimmick where like they would have she would like be backstage and talking, and then there'd just be fart sounds coming out, and it's just like that was totally a Vince McMahon thing.
Epic fail on that. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
My prediction is Becky Lynch and Naomi, but really doesn't matter.
Okay. How about you, Dana?
Yeah, we're gonna go with Naomi because apparently WWE doesn't want me to care about Natty and whatever the face is, Carmella. Both, which I don't understand this whole match. And I don't understand the positions. Carmella should be doing something, single or, cash in something or make us care that she even has the thing. She's basically Brock Lesnar. She has the opportunity to get a title, and we should care about it, but they haven't done anything with her.
Well,
that we just.
I don't know about that comparison because she's actually a full-time performer on the roster, whereas Brock Lesnar, this guy just comes and goes whenever he is supposed to be there.
They never mention the whole suitcase thing. They never bring it up. But for me, it's like they just don't care.
Well, here's the thing. It's always been the case with the Money in the Bank briefcases that whoever wins it will lose a lot of matches because they can absorb the losses. They still have the briefcase.
Yeah.
And the moment they cash it in, all those losses don't matter because they're champion and all that stuff. They've done it to all the men who have held the briefcase. Most recently, Baron Corbin was losing matches while he held the briefcase. And, we was all happy with him with that. But like I remember that happening with Sheamus. I remember it happening with just go back. Guys just lose when they have the briefcase because it's their armor. It's like, well, it doesn't matter that I lost this because I still have the championship opportunity. So with Carmella, it's this thing of, okay, they're just going to have her continue to lose, and that's okay because at one point she might cash in and win it, and then they'll undo all those losses. It's I'm trying to think of like, what's the other comparison? Like sometimes when you see guys that have like mid-card belts, lose matches, and it's like it's okay because they're still champion, and just like, you know, it's the thing WWE does. Money in the Bank. Carmella is no different.
Okay.
They lose matches and I don't know.
But then they even have that opportunity. It just makes it stupid, and I still don't understand the reasoning.
No, I agree with you, Dana. I think that if anything, having the Money in the Bank briefcase, you should be considered more of a threat. You should be winning more matches, and to remind people that, you know, this person's a very real threat to cash in at any moment. But when you lose, you're considered a loser, and people get disinterested with losers, and it's just like, and I mean that's how I'm feeling with Carmella. It's like, okay, like I'm not on pins and needles waiting for her to cash in. It's just like, whatever. If she lets it expire, it expires, because it's like there's just no interest. They're just not building up enough interest in that moment. So it's just whatever. That's the way
I don't see where they go, even if she does win. Like, where does that go? You know, they're not really doing anything with her now. So if she gets it, it's not going to change anything. It's like, oh wow, she did it. Oh
no, I firmly believe she will. Definitely, it was going to be a failed cash in. I can't really think of it. I mean, there's no, unless you are going to do, whenever they do their little draft thing and they move someone over to SmackDown, you leave some opportunity for her to cash in at that point. But no, I think it's going to be a failed cash in. That's just my opinion, though.
That's okay. Yeah, let it go. It's all right.
What if they bring back what's his face, the guy with no chin?
Ellsworth. He's busy.
Ellsworth. Now. Have Ellsworth help her win it.
Well, you know, hey, we'll see.
One night only.
They released them, but they can bring them back if they want to.
All right, they think they got it that way. You know, if they come calling, you answer. You just show up.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev with Aiden English. Well, you're not going to have Shinsuke Nakamura look weak heading into his WrestleMania match, so I say Shinsuke wins. How about you, Dana?
This is thrown together. I don't know why. I guess maybe they're trying to hope that, you know, people will cheer Nakamura more. Even after he did that whole little singing debut thing, it was just weird. Shinsuke will win. I just don't know why I'm supposed to care.
How about you, Adam?
Yeah, Shinsuke. I just don't, like you said, you can't go into a big show. Like, what, they're going to have interference and he's going to lose that way? It's like, come on now. No, we can't do that. He has to look strong. You know, he's just had AJ beat 2 guys, you know, in a match. So it's like, you can't do it. You got to do it. He has to win.
Exactly. How about you, Ricky?
Well, I see this match in 3 different ways. In a vacuum, there's a match between 2 wrestlers that I like, between Nakamura and Rusev. But then you got the whole thing of, I see this also as a way of trying to squash this Rusev Day thing. I really think that Rusev is so over because of the Rusev Day thing, and that was not the intention. And I really think that this is one way of Vince to try to kind of squash that down a bit by having Rusev go against Nakamura, who people are definitely going to be pulling for, you know, and so they're making Rusev totally the heel in this, rather than having Rusev go against a baby face that people are on the fence about, and, you know, that kind of thing. And really the last thing is like, excuse me, like what you said with Nakamura, that this is him getting an easy win, really, leading up to WrestleMania. You know, they're not going to have him drop. They're not going to have him drop a match prior to Mania, but they got to give him some work to do. So this is just just some practice for him. So yeah,
I feel like it's always been. Yeah, I feel like it's always been hard to book a pay-per-view event to matter leading to WrestleMania, because it's like you don't expect any major changes because they're already setting in stone the matches that you're going to see at Mania, especially the title matches, unless people are really upset about some of those matches. And it's like, no, and they hear the backlash. I'm like, all right, people really don't want this. All right, we got to throw in a monkey wrench. Look, for example, with John Cena. When John Cena did that whole little thing, and I was surprised by the fan reaction when John Cena talked about, wasn't that on SmackDown? Maybe I did watch SmackDown. When he came out and he started talking about how he was going to, no, it was a SmackDown before that, where he talked about he was going to inject himself. If he wins, he's going to inject himself into the match. If he wins at Fastlane, he wants to inject himself in the match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke at Mania. And surprising, the fans were like 50-50 on this. I'm like, this should be 100% boo. We don't want a three-way. We don't want to see Cena in that. You know, but I think this is their thing. Maybe they feel it's not enough, and so they're like, well, we got to throw a superstar in there. Here we go. That's how we make it entertaining. We sprinkle another big name in there. But whatever. Vince doesn't watch anything other than WWE, so he hasn't seen all the great matches that AJ could have with Shinsuke.
I mean, every once in a while, it seems that they can gauge fan interest, because if you'll remember, I think it was Survivor Series doing the whole Raw versus SmackDown stuff. It was going to be Brock Lesnar against Jinder Mahal, and then they called an audible and had AJ Styles win the WWE title from Jinder. So now it was Brock Lesnar against AJ Styles, which was a more palatable matchup for fans. But I think with this is that with Nakamura and AJ Styles, WrestleMania, that match is perfect the way it is. You don't need to inject Cena into it or anything like that. That's just going to fuck it up. So hopefully that's how it'll stay. But
yeah,
Nakamura's going to beat Rusev, and it'll be Nakamura Day.
Absolutely. Okay, next up we have Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ruby Riott. Once again, I as I said earlier, I believe that we will get Charlotte versus Asuka. So, yeah, Charlotte's going to beat Ruby Riott. Although it will be a good match. Ruby Riott will, convince people that she is right where she belongs. But yeah, Charlotte wins. How about you, Adam? What do you got in this?
Imagine they did something cheesy where what's her name runs in Carmella wins. She runs in, she cashes in, she gets the belt, and then you find out on Raw on Monday that Asuka says that she wants to challenge her for the belt at Mania, and that's what we get, Carmella versus Asuka.
Oh no.
That's an easy way to give Asuka the belt.
I hope they don't do that.
But yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. But that's the thing; it seems so predictable, right? Like this isn't. I mean, who would actually think this is a title's gonna change hands in this match, especially with Ruby? I don't know. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So yeah, Charlotte wins. Submission.
Absolutely. How about you, Dana? Who do you have in this match?
Obviously, Charlotte. My thing is, Ruby can't wrestle like that. Like, she kind of sucks. Sorry, and she's basically the last member of what the heck is that group? The Riot Squad that Flair hasn't faced yet, or even defeated. So, really, we all know it's going to be Charlotte. I don't know why they prepared it. This is something again I don't care about.
Yeah. How about you, Ricky?
Charlotte.
Definitely Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Okay, so moving on to another match that y'all might not care about. We have the Usos defending the tag titles against the New Day. Now, I think that with this match, I still believe that the Usos will win. But I also believe that we're going to have a scenario where the Bludgeon Brothers may get involved, and now you're going to have a triple threat for the titles at WrestleMania. But I think Usos definitely should win because they've been on momentum. They've been carrying that brand for a while. So I say Usos. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, it's got to be Usos. I mean, man, I really, just like we talked about before, I mean, New Day should have been broken up after they broke the record for the tag champions. Remember, they should have just said, all right, that's a wrap. Let's go. I mean, what are you going to do? Try to recreate that on SmackDown? There's no point. You know what I mean? That's no point. You give them the belt, then what? Then what? They don't need the belt. It does nothing. You know, hopefully we get some kind of storyline update from this match. Maybe somebody does snap. Remember for a while they teased that with when they were feuding with the Wyatts.
Oh, and yeah.
Then what's his name? Xavier was getting all freaked out, and everybody's like, "No, it's good. We got this." And he was like, "No, man, we don't. We don't got this." And he walked down the ring. I'm like, finally, you know, breaking this storyline up. Do something. Break this group up. And then like a week later, came back like nothing happened. You know, I was like, no, we're not doing that. You know, so yeah, Usos.
How about you, Dana?
I see a DQ. I see the Bludgeon Brothers coming in and causing chaos, and no one wins. And then we have that triple threat match. But yeah, that's or in like Fantasyland, it turns into a loser leaves to go to TNA, and we never see New Day again. So I like that version better.
Yeah, that sounds good. So how about you, Ricky?
See, this I think is a little tricky because, like I feel like Usos are the strongest tag team, on the brand and everything. But there's a part of me that thinks that they might want to reward New Day for being good hosts at WrestleMania last year. If you remember, they didn't actually have a match. So they could reward them by having them go into WrestleMania as tag team champions and defending it, again, in a three tag team or even 4 tag team, whatever the 4th one would be. I figured Bludgeon Brothers will definitely get involved in that whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be different here and say that New Day wins it. That way, the Usos can get their rematch at WrestleMania, but the Bludgeon Brothers will inject themselves into it and make it, multiple teams. I think that's how they'll do it. So I'll say New Day.
Sounds good.
Going for the Usos, but I think it'll be New Day. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that sounds good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to look at it. We'll see. Okay, next up we have Bobby Roode defending the United States Championship against Randy Orton. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Randy Orton lost to Jinder Mahal on SmackDown this past week. I still believe Jinder Mahal is going to be in this title picture, Matt, because they've been setting that up for a while. But as for the storyline of who wins this match, this is a match where I could see it ending in disqualification if Jinder Mahal does get involved. But they kept also mentioning, Randy Orton has never won the United States title, never held the title. So that makes me think, well, he might win it, but I don't know. I think it's going to definitely be a disqualification. But if I had to choose a winner, I would say, I just think it ends in no contest. That's just my thought. How about you, Adam?
It's not, man. That's a sad story with Roode. It's like he was flying high when he was over in NXT, and then he shows up here, and it's like, Bobby who? And it's because they want to make him a babyface. Keep him as a heel. Let him run his mouth as a heel. I don't get it. He has a heel entrance, but still, they want to push him this way, and it's boring. Nothing works. So what, you're going to give it to Randy Orton? So what? So then you're really saying that your up-and-coming talent does nothing. You know, it sucks. You know, so I hope he wins, but I don't think he's gonna win. You know, and anything, I think I see a move for him. I see him going to Raw. You know, they can do something with him in Raw if they push him as a heel. So, yeah, I'll go with Randy Orton.
Sounds interesting. All right, how about you, Dana?
They have nothing for Bobby Roode, and they haven't been doing anything with him. He's been just bland and boring and forgettable. So I'm gonna probably have to go with Orton. This is also a belt that he never got before. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Orton. But Jinder is gonna somehow like interfere, and because of that, he causes a distraction, and that's how Orton wins.
Sounds good. How about you, Ricky?
Forgot I was muted there. Yeah, I don't know. There's part of me that can see Orton getting it. You know, so they have a you know, what some people would say a more widely known star holding the title going into Mania. There's no way that Jinder Mahal doesn't get involved in this match. He's going to get involved. It's just a matter of what his role will be. And but I think it would be really messed up to just have Bobby Roode drop the belt so quickly after he just got it.
Only if they lead to a triple threat going into Mania. Something will happen. He'll lose, or is there some kind of interference? Like you said, Jinder jumps in, and then they run over to Shane afterwards, you know, or Dan Bryan said, "Hey, look, he caused me this, and that." All right, WrestleMania, we got a triple threat. And a Punjabi. What? Oh!
Lord,
no, that's not happening. But I can see a triple threat because they seem to like to do all that. I have to say, 2017 year of the triple four-way, five-way. They're just adding bodies everywhere, you know, and we're seeing it carry on into 2018 with the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, go ahead. Dana, you're on mute.
What? Oh no, I was just agreeing with Adam.
Oh, okay. Goodness. I already predicted New Day would win the tag belts. I don't think they're gonna go too crazy with all these tag belt changes. I'm gonna say Bobby Roode retains. And I'll go with no contest. The same thing Richard said. You know, no, Jinder Mahal will mess it up for them. It'll be a no contest. They'll both want to get their hands on Jinder Mahal at WrestleMania. It'll be all part of his big plan to get a title match, and they'll do a triple threat. That's how I see it. So Bobby Roode retains via no contest. That's how I see it.
Bobby Roode.
Sounds good. And of course, we have the main event. We have AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. So the fact that John Cena has inserted himself into this match, I wasn't really a fan of that. Obviously, he beat Styles clean in that win on SmackDown to get into this match. Mm-hmm. So I also did want to say, Adam, I know you mentioned that people, when Cena made that whole thing about, it could become a triple threat at WrestleMania, and people seem receptive to that. I also will question what's wrong with those people, because Styles and Nakamura is the match that everybody wants to see. Nobody wants to see John Cena in that match whatsoever.
Yeah, and you know what? It could be that. What was that thing I sent you, Dana? What did they call it? Hot air. Remember that how they blow their own version of Cheers?
Oh yeah,
there was a thing I found. It was like things that WWE don't want you to know, and one of them is that pretty much they have like a cheer button that they'll play every once in a while, and it could have been that, because I know the boo started off strong, and then poof, that came in. You know, and it was like a lot of cheers after following. So maybe they pumped that in. They're like, oh, too many boos. Add some cheers. Make it seem like some people want this.
That make a lot of sense.
You know, so, but it's sad. It's sad. You know, but I don't know. Part of me, I saw something online earlier where somebody did a rundown of his schedule, you know, for other events, and it looks like he's not booked for anything after WrestleMania for a while. You know, so some people are saying maybe he doesn't make it to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the big thing. Maybe that's why he's doing. Think about it. He's really booked a lot now. He's showing up Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown. You know, doing the pay-per-view on Raw. Then he's doing the pay-per-view here, Fastlane. You know, and what if he doesn't make it? Then he's just out. And what if he becomes the host of WrestleMania, like the New Day did? Doesn't have a match.
Well, I think that's an interesting. A very interesting idea. But I think, although people will say it shouldn't happen, I really strongly believe this Undertaker Cena match is going to happen. Only because you know they have already said, oh well, this is the match that you know John Cena had that promo said, yeah, this is the match everybody wants to see, and it won't happen. We know Rey Mysterio, his injury is, I mean, it's still an injury. You know, no one really knows if it's going to keep him out of the other stuff he has going on. But I just think with John Cena, they will find a way to use him. You know, the host idea is interesting, but I have to believe that he's probably still going to have a match on that card. Only because he's not really doesn't have that much time left in terms of wrestling. You know, he wants to do other things. But we'll see. But if I had to pick a winner, obviously AJ Styles will win. You know, because he lost to John Cena, and then he also lost this match this past SmackDown. And of course, that will set up the whole him versus Nakamura, the match that everybody wants to see. So I say AJ Styles wins. And I'll also add that if they were going to have Cena win, I highly doubt they would have him get a win that important for his career at a throwaway pay-per-view like Fastlane. That would have to happen at WrestleMania or any of the other big pay-per-views. So, yeah, AJ Styles is my pick. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, it's got to be AJ. I can't see anyone else in this winning. I mean, again, Fastlane really shouldn't even be happening. But whatever, they have to do something right leading up to this. It's just tough, you know. Said it before, it's just tough. Any kind of pay-per-view leading up to WrestleMania is just tough. What are you gonna do? You know, unless you're gonna make some drastic changes. What are you gonna do?
I agree. You know?
Especially this type of match. Come on now. This is if there's any main event matches that people want to see in Mania, like you said, AJ Shinsuke, people definitely want to see that. Don't screw it up. You know.
I agree.
Can't do what, Dolph Ziggler? Are you kidding me? Please.
I agree. Okay, how about you, Dana?
Okay, so I see. Okay, Kevin and Sammy are going to be too busy fighting with each other, so that knocks them off. Dolph Ziggler and I can see AJ Styles battling with each other. John Cena just, you know, he's there with Baron Corbin. Overall, I see AJ Styles winning, but I think that they're going to try to really push this as a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn situation and you know, have their match at WrestleMania. So, you know, AJ is winning, but it'll be about Kevin and Sami. And also, I see this as being John Cena's last match for a while and him not being at WrestleMania. John Cena has like 20 things he's doing aside from wrestling. He has a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that he's doing. He's hosting with Hoda and Kathy Lee on their show. He's doing the new Transformers movie. He's doing the Blues Clues thing. Then he's hosting Nickelodeon. I don't see him doing WrestleMania at all. And I'm okay with that. He doesn't need that anymore.
That's the whole thing. It's like he doesn't need any of this, but he's still in that spot. You know, he doesn't need to be the guy who's trying to find his path to make that. There's plenty of other guys that could fill that spot that are deserving of that.
Maybe it's a contract thing. Maybe he has to be in this match, you know, to fulfill it. That's it, and he can go on and do his thing.
I think as long as Vince McMahon is in charge and he is the biggest Cena fan, he's going to make sure he has something for him at WrestleMania.
But the fans want to see Cena. They have to see Cena. Where is
But
John
you can't
Cena?
see Cena.
Oh, you got me. Buy a T-shirt.
Yeah. So how about you, Ricky?
Finally, it's all about the real belt. The sooner we accept it, the easier it'll be for everyone. We're gonna get a triple threat WrestleMania. We're gonna get Nakamura, the Royal Rumble winner, AJ Styles, the former champion, and the new WWE champion, Dolph Ziggler. That's your WrestleMania triple threat. I'm just kidding. AJ Styles has to win this. It'll be dumb to do it any other way. It's really just a lot of filler having guys like Baron Corbin in it and Dolph Ziggler in it. As you said, the Owens Zayn thing is really just a bit built up for their match.
They'll have their own match, their own feud. Yep, they'll do something again, which we've seen. Oh man, I feel like their feud reminds you of when Cena and Orton used to wrestle all the time. Remember when it was just like nonstop Cena Orton, and it's like same thing. I mean, this feud though has continued from NXT.
No, isn't it? It started at other wrestling thingies. So wasn't it
they were friends. They wrestled all over the world together. But the first time like the feud started, that was in NXT. When he took him out because Sami Zayn had the title, and then Kevin Owens got signed, and he was all happy for him. Next, he kicked his ass with the move, and he was like, "Yeah, well, you have what I want, and I'm gonna have to push our friendship aside for that." And then they feuded for a while, and then that stopped. Kevin Owens came up before Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn stayed in NXT even after that because he was having matches with Shinsuke, and he was taking Shinsuke to the face, while Kevin Owens won the title from Cena. So then eventually Sami Zayn did come up. They were friends. They came up. Then they started feuding again. Then they stopped. Then they started feuding again. Then they stopped. Then they started having random matches all the time. Whenever there was a random spot opening, they just had them feuding. Remember they did the ladder match and all that weird stuff. Then it stopped. Then now they're buddies, and now it looks like they're gonna feud again. So and I get it. You're gonna go what works. They have great chemistry. They know each other so well. They can put on a great match, but it's like so many times you can see the same match. It's like and I'm sure Kevin Owens. There's one thing that I feel was legit. If anybody watches that 365 on the network with Kevin Owens, he doesn't like his direction. He doesn't like the fact that he's not listed as one of the top guys. He doesn't like the fact that he's doing the round robin of stuff that he's already done before. He didn't have to say it in so many words, but obviously he's not happy with what he's doing now. Because this is a recycling. It's like he's stuck in this weird loop because all this stuff he's doing is, what he was doing with Jericho. Same thing. Just Jericho's on tour. Don't worry. We got a new friend for you. Here, Sammy. Sammy's your friend again. Don't worry. You'll stab him in the back later.
Yeah, and who's going to be Owens' friend later on that he ends up feuding with around next Road to WrestleMania? It's like recycled thing, or maybe he'll get a United States Championship run again, that kind of thing. It seems like they do that all the time, but yeah, this match is just really just kind of to get that revved up for WrestleMania. John Cena. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just if I was to throw in a wrench like what you said of like, oh yeah, Cena's gonna make a triple threat, throw in another wrench. I could see Kevin Owens jumping in on that. And then it's a 4-way. If anything, I see if they had to do a triple threat, I'd rather it be Owen than Cena because Owen would actually perform better with the other two. It would be a more interesting matchup. But if they have to do it, if for some reason they feel that AJ and Shinsuke as a singles match isn't good enough, then you might as well throw in Owens if you're gonna throw in Cena.
if they don't think Shinsuke and AJ is good enough, then they need to shut the company down and just end business, because that's as good of a matchup as you can get. And so I really think like it's hard to mess that up, and they'll be fine with that. With Cena, it'll be a thing where he'll fall short in this and wonder, really, I might actually not make it to WrestleMania, and then boom, Undertaker comes out and says like, challenges him or some shit, In
the buried alive match. See, I can't even see that, because you can't have Undertaker lose it. You can't have Undertaker. No, because that's the thing. If they do have a match, Undertaker would have to go over. There's no way you're gonna have back-to-back Manias.
Not necessarily. It could be, you build it up as a retirement match. Cena's already talking about, I'm busy with all this stuff, and I could be approaching the end. And with Undertaker, he's at the end, so it's like
too short notice. That's too short notice, I think.
Undertaker is the end. Can we please leave him alone and let him live his best life away from wrestling?
He was seen with the picture recently. He dyed his facial hair.
But they said he was going to be at Access. He's going to be there doing some other stuff behind the scenes, I think. I don't think he's going to wrestle. So, I don't know. All right. What's the next match? I don't even remember what else is on this damn card.
That's it, I think.
Is that it? Did we do it?
Yeah, there's only 6 matches on the card.
Holy shit.
So 6 matches, and we're sure that Fastlane has a pre-show and another pre-show.
Starts at 3 p.m., everyone. 3 p.m.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Holy crap. They may have nothing else to do, but I sure do. I'm
telling you, WrestleMania, they're going to have a pre-show that starts at freaking 10 a.m. That's the only thing I can think of.
All day.
After Fastlane.
Nope. Nope.
Vince McMahon's out of his goddamn mind.
Years and years ago, when I was at my cousin's house and we ordered the pay-per-view. Went to my uncle's house, actually. It was a bunch of us, 2 of my cousins, and then my uncle, and he has 2 kids, and we're all wrestling fans stuff. So we ordered the pay-per-view there at WrestleMania the day before. Yeah, was it? Yeah, this day Friday night, Saturday night. No, Saturday. I want to say Saturday. No, Friday night we started, and it said Saturday started like the build-up, and it was, I think it was something for Undertaker. We on this pay-per-view channel, because we got the wrestling one, the WrestleMania. It just showed all these like the specials, like with the 25 years of destruction of Undertaker and this and that, and we just like, yeah, we're gonna watch all of this, and it was hard. It was hard because it was all day Saturday of just watching wrestling. We left to go get something to eat. We came back, still going on watching this shit. That when it finally came to WrestleMania, we were like, get this shit over with. We screwed it for ourselves. We were wrestled out. We were like, yo, just fucking finish this. And I can't even remember which Mania that was, but I know I was tired. And that was it. But yeah, I remember trying to, build into the moment. So now to see that they're trying to do that experience, but with live material, no.
Too much wrestling exists.
Too much.
See, I remember that as a kid, and that was really exciting. But then again, we never had. Remember, the network wasn't back during early days.
Network. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have you could just look up shit.
So for me, that was like really exciting because I got to see matches I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
When you're young, for me, that was like the biggest thing ever. And I remember back when it used to be like $60 for like WrestleMania. Yeah, and that's when the big card where like you could watch that. That's the thing we just talked about. On like Saturday it started. And it came with a free t-shirt.
Yeah, you get something in the mail 3 months later, but something would definitely show up.
Mm-hmm.
Get that, and yeah. And they, even if I think they still do it, they still do the countdown. Because sometimes on the shows that when I watch on the network, the pre-shows, they'll say, yeah, get the network now, order now, time is running out, see you there. And I'm like, who are they talking to? I'm already on the network. And I said, oh, I guess because this is a pre-countdown for people that are still on the cable box doing, or the satellite doing the pay-per-view channel. You know?
Yeah, and it's also YouTube. Remember, they have the pre-show airs on YouTube. And
see, I didn't even know that. That's too many hours. I'm sure the next one will be on that Facebook Watch, whatever this shit is.
You should stop knocking the watch.
I just don't like Facebook. It's a dark place.
It's improving.
It ruins families. Forget about fake news. It just ruins families, relationships, people breaking up. And how do you know you're broken up? Well, his status just changed. Oh no, it's like, and it's true. Everybody knows somebody who went through that. Oh my God, he posted a picture with Gina. Oh no,
they broke up because he liked the picture of this other woman.
Exactly. Why did he like it? He knows I don't like her. Oh no, where is he? Hold on. There's a Facebook track. Oh, he's in the park. Where's Gina? She has a track. She's in the park too. Oh my God. I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's horrible. We shouldn't know so much about each other. You know what I mean? We can know all we want about fake shit and TVs and movie stuff, but when it comes to real people, no, man. I don't need to. When it's like, oh, tell people what you're doing. No. Oh, tell people if you're leaving home right now. For what? We've already seen horrible situations where people are like, yeah, I'm at this concert. And guess what? Your house is being robbed because everybody knows you're at the damn concert. And that really happened. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't need to tell the world every little detail. Don't use social media as a diary. Don't do it. I hate when some people tell me, they're like, oh, you don't post a lot. What the fuck you want me to post? I'll spread news and stuff. I'm not going to tell you, by the way, I had a beef sandwich and I feel kind of icky. No, I don't. No. You don't need to know that, and I don't need to tell you that.
Sheesh.
That's right.
Fine. Stop posting my life. Happy now?
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I want secrets. I want to say, what's going on in your life? And you're like, you know what? Let's just keep it to wrestling. I'm like, oh, shit. There you go. I know my place. Thank you. That's it.
All right. Ricky, did you already give your pick? You good?
AJ Styles retaining.
All right, so everybody gave their pick.
There we go.
All right, so yes, Fastlane is this Sunday. We'll definitely have something to say about it next week. But I believe that concludes our show for tonight. So, Mr. Adam Vale, you have any shout outs that you want to give?
Shout out to everybody who enjoys watching a lot of wrestling and listening to people talk about a lot of wrestling. That's always cool. I know people download the show and stuff and then listen to it wherever they're at. And, whether you watch it on and off, whatever, it's fine. Watch it, enjoy it. Shout out to everybody on Throwdown. That's the other show that I do, video games. Everybody loves video games. And shout out to everybody here. We did it. Another 15 hours in the books. Wow.
Yeah.
They'll put us on the network. They're like, these guys like to do long shows, long content. We need more content on the network. And just to throw a little bump in there, that's the whole ironic aspect of the whole thing with Colt Cabana. At one point, they offered him a spot on the network to do his show. And that was before he had CM Punk on there. So I'm sure a little piece of him is thinking, damn, what if I would have taken that job? His whole life could have been different. He wouldn't have been able to do the wrestling anymore, but hell, he likes doing the podcast. He likes doing the interviews and talking about life on the road. He could have been still doing that. Whatever. It didn't happen.
That's true. All right. How about you, Dana? Any shout outs?
Shout outs to all of the listeners and all the wrestling fans, and check out Throwdown and check out the co-op podcast, which we do on Sundays. That's about video gaming as well and a little bit of entertainment news. And also stay safe to anyone who is at the WWE Performance Center, because they keep getting stalked by that man who broke in 3 years ago at the complex. And the same guy was shot again, and he's been caused.
I thought he was in jail. The one that was stalking Lita.
No, not the one who was stalking Lita. It was a man that was arrested 3 years ago. He tried to break into the WWE complex, the one in Orlando.
Yeah. So
he came back this Wednesday, at another WWE event, and he started screaming, at everyone, like the crowds, and he was at the facility and he tried to break in again. And the WWE staff had to, they called the police. And that was when he was obsessed with a female wrestler. And he's still, like, basically trying to stalk and, who knows, maybe kill someone. But right now it's just a very dangerous situation. And so the deputy, they shot him. They had, like, no other choice, and they shot him.
I remember seeing a video of the guy, like, outside the entrance to there, and he was doing, like, some, like, karate moves or some shit like that. I think that was...
Is he alive, or did he die?
He's alive. But he was screaming, my new wrestling name is Regeneration Flex.
That's what he said?
Yes. And he said, Vince McMahon's people like to make things up. Oh, my God. He's waving a big, thick chain on our property. Trespass him. Lock him up. So, yeah.
All right. Well, there goes that's your
All right.
And then screaming that he was bigger than Vince McMahon.
All
right. How about you, Ricky? Any shout outs?
Just want to say, treat your treasured ones with tender, loving care. Yeah, especially I was just thinking about how totally inappropriate Heyman using the word bitch to describe the championship was, especially considering that it's like Women's Appreciation Month, as far as I know.
Yeah. It's also a hot topic right now. Just stay away from all that.
Yeah.
Even if he just said bitch and left it alone, but the fact he said she, and used she, it's like, what the.
Because you could say bitch and just be like, oh, like it's a dog or whatever, same way that you call guys bitch. But then you say she, it's like, took it a step too far. But yeah, shout out to all the women out there. Show them some love and appreciation. They are definitely not bitches. Great people and all that stuff. Shout out to our listeners. Apologies for the late start. I'll take some of the blame because I'm talking about travel plans and things like that and all that. So I'll take the blame for some of that. But yeah, shout out to our listeners, people in the chat. Check us out every week. We'll have a recap next week, I believe, of Fastlane. I almost called it Backlash because these are all just
too many damn shows. Holy crap.
They all blend together. You remember those in your house pay-per-views? That's what it is. It's in your house.
In your house. Just like it was in your house in different cities, and I still couldn't remember all of them. I forget it.
Yeah. And shout out to wrestling fans in general. Yeah.
Keep the dream alive.
Enjoy wrestling, whether you watch for 1 hour or 10 hours a week. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, shout out to all the Patreon supporters as well as the fans. We will be back for a co-op this Sunday, so stay tuned for that. So enjoy the pay-per-view, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Peace.